Good stories.
Yeah.
No, but like,
But
oh shit, what's up, everybody?
Yo, we started.
You can't do that shit to me.
Intro.
I told you I'd do it.
We want to tell the story now. While we're
Wait. No. This is True Story Bros number 5.
6.
Officially.
Shut up! It's officially 5.
Officially 5. Unofficially 6. Damn, we gotta find that 5.
Oh, man.
I'm your main man with the plan, Echo Ninja. We have our brother here. What's your name?
Black Caesar.
Yes, he is coming back again, people.
I was
Black
like,
Caesar. And we also have
Redbeard.
and
Your boy Sir Wednesday.
Roundhouse.
the bookie.
Give me your money.
Oh,
The bookie's back.
no, not yet, Al. Not yet. No, wait.
No?
No.
You too?
No. No money yet.
All right.
No money yet.
Soon.
Soon.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, like, comment, and share, please.
Please comment. We always want to upgrade and see what we do wrong and make things better.
And do new topics also, so
Yes.
please.
If you want to hear something, let us know.
Yes.
Let us know.
We're putting the ear out for you.
But
Yeah.
mostly, Roundhouse just wants to fight all the people in the comments.
What you mean you got an opinion? I got an opinion too.
So yeah, this,
I don't want to fight. I don't like to fight. I just
like
like
this.
I like to lightly debate.
Okay, well, you know what? Speaking of debate, I want to kind of get this one out the way so we can get on other stuff. I was reading something on Reddit on our way here about game developers need to be in the union. Now, what do you guys think about that?
Hell
Does the game developing industry need a union?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Due to all the unfair hours and constant
Half of the time they gotta sleep there to
exactly,
get
they're
stuff
missing their
done.
families for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like no joke. I was reading one guy. One guy basically said he's been out of the game for like years. No pun intended.
I saw what you did there.
And then, so basically, he said he's still suffering from sleep disorder and nosebleeds. I'm like, nosebleeds, goddamn. But as we all know, nosebleeds and chapped lips and all that other stuff is caused by what? Sir
Having
Wednesday?
psychic powers.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Roundhouse? Really?
Dehydration. She must be
Dehydration.
suffering from.
No psychic powers?
No.
Oh, okay.
What is wrong with you?
Trust me, as many nosebleeds as many nosebleeds as I have had in my years, I should have had psychic powers. Be on the floor of the bed like, we won't stop. But that's a story for another time.
I mean, do you remember back in do you remember back in college what Sorrento would say about the gaming industry? He was very harsh about it. Shout out to Mrs. Sorrento. Still love you, buddy.
Anthony Sorrento.
Right, bro. Right. One of your famous lines.
What did he say?
He was just very harsh about it, and he was the true bro. Come on, bro. Come on, he was the true bro.
Story.
Yes, he was.
Come on, bro. You're not doing your lightweight, bro. You're not doing your lightweight.
It's like, what are you hating, bro? You hating,
bro?
You hating?
Come on,
You gotta
man.
extrude.
No, but like in
You guys are tool, bro.
I remember in my class he gives some insight on how very competitive and how rough like the
industry.
The industry really is, especially when you got deadlines.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
You live by the deadlines.
Like I remember my class, he'd have us on. He'd give us that a taste of how it's like by giving us a project, giving us a deadline, and he just hounding us every day on it.
Miss Young was the same way.
Yeah,
True story.
Miss Young was the same way. Shout out to Miss Young. Hope you still live in Jersey City.
but
Well, now everybody knows she lives in Jersey City. Now you never.
let's bleep that out, like. But anyway, but just thinking about a lot of the AAA games that we have these days, a lot of the hard work the good ones that turned out really
Why
good.
even the bad ones? We can talk about the bad ones.
But
Triple C games. All right, cool.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right, Roundhouse. Even the bad ones. There's a lot of hard work that gets put into those. even if they're shitty.
And the reason why they get shitty is because of the simple fact the studio cuts costs. One, gets
Fucking on me.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what I see
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like, even with a union and stuff, like I guess that would alleviate the workload on the developers.
Yeah.
So the butterfly effect of that would be that the games would probably come out a lot later than the publishers intend, but the game would also be high quality just for that simple fact.
Quality over quantity.
But also publishing companies still have a lot of other shit that they do to bring down the quality of the game. I don't know that a union is gonna be able to stop that.
True.
They would combat it though. It would.
Yeah, but you got to realize with unions, think about it. Think about a lot of businesses that have unions. When they go on strike,
Oh yeah, it's over.
It's
There's
over.
no games
Yeah,
coming
oh,
out.
please, that's a
Kiss
wrap.
your game goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
you got to think of the cons on that part. Like the pros are good, but the cons can be just as bad.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Man.
And if one thing goes wrong, and these niggas know that they got a union, fuck that.
Yeah. It
They'd
does.
be like strike, and
I
actually
can just imagine. I need that level done by 2:00. Why don't you get it done by 2:00? Fuck that. Call my union rep.
Wait, but hold,
shit,
but hold
it's
up,
over,
hold up.
son.
But if you, okay, I understand what you're saying, Redbeard. But if you let's look at another one. Let's look at something else. Let's look at actors. Actors have a union, right? SAG. They have a union, right?
Yeah.
So when they are like
Misrepresented.
represented to be in this movie or whatever, they have a union that they supposed to follow. So why can't the game industry have that same exact thing?
Here's the difference.
And mind you, they go on strike too.
No, but here's the difference.
They have agents.
True.
They
Plus,
have what?
they have agents,
Agents, right.
and they're individuals.
Individual.
The guild is like a big thing, but at the same time, all these actors are literally individuals. It's not like the Brat Pack. Where they're all
These,
I would be the movie.
a game development company. That's an entire company going down if there's a strike. Think about the writer's strike that we had. Remember?
Oh my god.
Oh,
We
which
forget.
one?
The one that ruined a lot of TV shows.
Heroes.
Oh, right. That was what, 05, 04?
That was a little later.
Heroes was 04.
No, that was in between like 05 and 10. Like in between that
That whole thing.
era.
Okay.
It happened probably.
That was a
It
really
was a
bad
good,
strike.
3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
2-3 years that
that
they
was
were on
a
strike
really
for?
bad writer strike. That was really bad.
It ruined a lot of TV shows. Some got canceled. Some just blew away, and people just forgot about it.
You know what channel suffered the most
And-
out of
hold up.
everything was
and
Fox.
Then, and then some shows came
Not
back.
4, bro.
Channel 4 shows suffered the most? Or I
Think about it.
Fox.
Think about it. Look.
Fox cancels everything, so they really didn't suffer.
Yes,
They just
think
canceled
about
like
it.
they usually do.
Like he said, Heroes for one. Heroes started out good, and then when the writer's strike started to happen, it like disappeared. And like 2 years later, they came back like nothing happened. It's like, no, you can't do that.
That shit went.
You should have just rebooted the whole fucking shit.
They did.
They did.
Heroes Reborn, and it
Yeah.
still got canceled. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Heroes Reborn, people were sick of it. They thought it was gonna be the same bullshit though.
No, they thought it was gonna be a lot of the people that they used to see, and they had a whole bunch of new people. It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the
That
same.
shit went to the other universe like Vegeta did in Appa.
Oh.
To the other dimension, yeah.
It's true though, but so what do you think, Caesar, about game developer and company having unions?
Well, I think it would be very, well, one thing, it would be very resourceful. I mean, unless, of course, we're talking about companies such as, what's a good example? Curse? Remember? Like, I mean, which makes a shitload of money for sure, but, they could use a bigger support staff. I'm just saying.
Support is probably.
Yeah, because
the
companies
key.
like that, or companies like Square Enix, or like Japanese companies, I don't
Platinum
know if
Games?
they would go for that.
Platinum Games.
No. But that's one. But like, if we're talking, let's say if we're talking about Japanese companies, for instance, because then you got to think about the regions these companies are in. not all of them would go for the whole union thing.
I think it would go like, because a lot of these companies have their home base, which is like Japan or sometimes China, depending where they're at.
Yeah.
And then they have an American one. Like you have Capcom Japan, you have Capcom USA. There's a Konami USA.
Yeah, I know.
So I think it would not. I don't think they would go for it at their home one, but I think in the U.S.
Anything U.S. based,
I
they'll
think
probably
would
do it. You know, but I mean,
that's.
Would that be a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, let's just say Capcom Japan and Capcom America.
Yeah.
Let's just say they
Starting up a car in the wintertime?
I don't know. I don't know if it happens, but let's just say both companies were working on one game,
Okay.
and then one
That
game,
usually happens.
and then the U.S.
That usually happens.
the U.S. one goes on strike.
Oh.
Then you put all the slack on the Japanese.
Well, you know it's going to take a little bit more time, so
Yeah,
you got to suck it up.
Not
Maybe-
necessarily.
then you'll
Because
end
if
up.
they're already working on
Then
something,
the company would just hand over everything to the
Japanese,
developers.
exactly.
but then they would be the
They'll
ones who are
handle the work.
overwhelmed, and then the story cycle.
I
repeats again.
think those certain certain situations like this it's a very sticky situation.
It's a sensitive subject because it can
Indeed.
work and it cannot work. Like
They just need to have the right people in structure
Yeah.
to put things properly. Like they have to have the right infrastructure. Once they have that, it'll work. They'll test it out. If they say, "Yo, this ain't working," they'll vote on it. And
But also
call
too,
it
would
done.
it work just for America, American companies that's based off in Japan?
Well,
or
it
would
varies because, of course, everybody's government structure is different. It's
Yeah,
not always gonna
like
be
would
the
it
same.
work? Like would it work for
But-
Ubisoft?
What works
Who's
for us might not
would
work
it work for
them.
Ubisoft? Who's in France, in Canada, and USA? Would it work for our,
And these
those
are
three
things
divisions?
about like big companies too.
Yeah.
I would think the best way to go about it, I would think like a good developer should just, and I know it costs a lot of money, but I'd rather see good developers just publish their own stuff, or have some way to put their stuff out to the public. Like, okay, I always talk about this company, but you know, CD Projekt Red, they develop their own stuff, and then they publish their own stuff, and then also they put out. You know about that site GOG.com?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's they created it as a way for to help players find like old computer games and all that stuff, and they're opposed to DRM in video games and all that shit. They hope that free downloadable content becomes an industry standard, that type of shit. They put out that site, and they put all their stuff, like even their new stuff, they put it on that site available for people to purchase without having to go through big companies. The only times they go through big publishers is when they put stuff on consoles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's true.
So basically, we're ending this with a toss of a coin.
I'm not really a toss of a coin because the thing is,
It's something that's still fresh.
it's a very
gonna take-
sensitive subject that needs to be taken.
It's gonna take a lot.
It's gonna take a lot
to
more. Yeah.
Because
I mean, and it's been for the longest time. The video game industry. It's only recent that it's turned into big business.
yeah.
And that's why there's all these businessmen and why all these publishers do the dumb shit that they do to get as much money as they can out of people. So with it just becoming big business now, then all that stuff is going to be years before we see anything like that.
Yeah. I hope like somehow, you know, like depending on the company or whatever, I hope they find a way to do it, because it would be great help to these people who do like
Who do all
design.
these hard work?
Honestly,
do
the
all the
best
type
thing
of
we can
design.
do, the best thing we can do as consumers is not stand for the bullshit practices that they try to put out.
You mean like the one that
Stop
EA did?
Stop pre-ordering stuff unless you really know that it's gonna be a quality or something that you really want. Don't pre-order shit. Fucking don't. What else? What else is like?
In-game currency.
Yeah. Don't fucking
Spend dollars
don't stand for all the microtransaction bullshit.
Yeah, but that's what the fight is nowadays. Because I mean,
loot boxes,
and I know. Oh my god!
Loot box.
But I know what we were talking about this last week with the whole Metal Gear Survive. But it's just gonna be quick. I basically was just looking at something earlier today saying that Metal Gear Survive has an alternative ending.
Don't care.
No, and this is the part where you shouldn't care. But the only way to get this alternative ending is to not do something different in the game. Is to buy it.
Don't care.
What is wrong with
that's
like this? That company has become
Shadow
so.
of its form.
It's the Japanese EA.
But they're not even the first. Yeah, they're not even the first to do that. Who? Someone else did that. You had to buy the real ending of the game.
So was right.
Yeah.
No,
Capcom. It was Capcom.
Yeah. That's what I said. Capcom.
Yep. I love that game. That game was great. It was a throwback. I thought I was playing like an anime. I loved it.
Granted, Monster Hunter is great, and there's other games that are great, but
now that's a company that split into divisions because Monster Hunter was done by a certain division that doesn't put out bullshit.
Right.
And then when the motherfuckers who do Street Fighter and on all the
the thing with Capcom and talking about Street Fighter and all that stuff, and going back to that, that's the other one of the company that does shit like that. Like you have to
release beta games and that for
you
have to spend $30 more.
It's 2018 right now, right? Yeah. So Street Fighter 5 came out 2014, 15?
Not 4 years ago. 15.
Street Fighter 5 came out like 15 years ago. So
15 years ago.
Street Fighter 5.
I mean, talking
about Street Fighter 2 Turbo mode?
Yeah.
15 years ago.
I mean, Street Fighter 5 came out like 5 years ago.
Has it really been out that long?
It's been out that.
It has not been out that. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh no.
It's either 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
Well, regardless,
2016.
But the thing about it is, we didn't even get a full game.
Since Street Fighter 4, we never got a full game. So
February 2016.
Yep.
Yeah, so like it's been arcade edition. Then you got to do this. Then you got to do that.
It's arcade edition now.
Yeah, but you have to put like super arcade. You just got to get some.
Not even now. Like
there's always some bullshit.
But even now, like you have to.
2018, 2 years later, we finally got Blanca.
That's like and Sakura. And what's crazy about it is like
Sakura wasn't in the game.
No, she wasn't. Now she's in it now.
Oh well.
And we're now getting Sagat.
Oh fuck that.
Damn, one of the originators, and we just not getting this motherfucker.
And what's crazy about it is that you can't just get him. You have to pay to.
Yeah, you have to pay for all these characters.
Oh my god.
Like, and
what happened to the old?
Hold on.
But here's the thing: they're not done yet. Once they're finished developing all these characters and everything, then they're gonna put out Street Fighter the Ultimate Edition, where they give you everything. The game that should have came out back in 2016.
You mean, yeah. Well,
so pay this beta and pay for these other characters, and we're gonna give you the real game, and you have to pay again.
And what's crazy is
and they will charge you full price.
And you know what's funny? Like, not even talking about just like that aspect. Like from the fighting game community, they have not been happy with Street Fighter.
But here's the thing. That's a problem among the consumers as well. Is that
stop paying for bullshit?
You got to understand that this is what they're doing. See how they're going about with their business plan, and then just don't follow it. If they're saying they're putting out this unfinished game and then charging you for all these characters, then people should just be like, well, no, fuck this game then.
Well, you know what they did that with?
Yeah, Destiny 2. These motherfuckers have been fucking people over. And people and people have gone to the fucking message boards and be like, look at what they're doing now.
Destiny's
look
dead.
What they're doing now.
I saw an article where it's like Destiny is dead.
People are
and I read it. It was like
no one is streaming it anymore.
No.
You know why Destiny is dead though? To be honest, let's just be honest. Monster Hunter.
That's true.
But
also, it's just the pride. People are just like, yo, fuck that shit.
But here's the thing too. When you talk about like games like consumers buying stuff, Marvel's Capcom Infinite is not an Evo this year.
You know why? Because it's not a real fighting game.
No, because it's not a real fighting game. People don't like it. Two, like the practices that's in there that Capcom has done is it tarnishes the game.
Yeah.
The characters look crappy, and it's like
Why am I paying game anyway?
Why am I paying $60 for them to look like Power Stone characters?
Shit.
It's bad.
I'd rather play Power Stone.
Me too.
And that's the thing too. I'd rather play Power Stone because it
but
is
you know
supposed to
what's
be
bad?
crazy.
Here's the bad thing. Like,
How does Super Smash Bros. Look better than Mario?
how no? How is Super Smash Brothers more enjoyable than that?
That's because when you press back and you block, you want to get blocked. You don't want to get punched in the face like 30 times like it's Mortal Kombat.
But
But
here's the thing. Here's the thing with it. Like, now we all know people that we know always say Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like one of the best games.
Still to this day, yes.
One of the best fighting games to
Yeah,
to
it
date.
was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it is.
Other than Mugen, which will forever be.
Yeah.
Mugen was everything.
But-
Yes, well,
yeah. Like back in the days in college when we all played that game,
Yeah.
I wasn't even a big fighting game fan, and I loved playing that game.
Oh.
I'm not
The
the
only
only
other
fighting
game-
games except for Mortal Kombat.
The only other game that was like really like that didn't get its justice in like almost until like now a little bit like was Guilty Gear.
Oh, Guilty Gear was
Guilty
very
Gear still
underrated.
hasn't gotten
That was
its
that
justice.
was
It has. It really has now.
Okay,
It's
so
now-
go back to
it was very underrated.
Marvel vs. Capcom
right.
Infinite. What do you mean that it's broken?
It's a broken game. Like you understand, like the practices that Capcom has done. are
That's
doing-
business. I'm talking
one
about
of
the game itself.
Actual mechanics of the game.
it's the hitboxes are way off. Like and don't get me wrong, like they have the power stones in there, but there's just too much crap that goes.
It's frustrating.
It's
to play.
very frustrating. I'd rather put my control. It's like at this time. It's like when I first played the first Carnation of the third game. They're like, I'm blocking. Why am I getting hit in the face? And they're like, oh, you have to chicken block. I'm like, what the fuck is a chicken block?
Chip block.
Chip block, yeah. So you have to tap the block button as the punches are coming out. I'm like, this is like way more than this should be. Like, it sounds like a stupid thing, but it's fucking.
The game
I'm
is
just getting punched in the. I'm like, yo, I'm blocking. What's going on?
The game itself is literally like this, like, and it really kind of goes with. They made it easy for like a 10-year-old to play it.
So compare it to another game that I mean, not as a fighting fan.
Yeah.
Another game that I find frustrating as fuck. Juggle Fest 2018. I mean, Injustice 2.
Might as well be talking about DOA as well.
Sure.
Juggle Fighters.
Oh man!
Now you know what the funny.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
That's all about keeping a combo and juggling the motherfucker while he's in the air and
So is
not
Mortal
able to
Kombat.
block.
So
No.
Mortal Kombat, you drop.
You can actually block in Injustice. That's the thing too.
You can block.
You can block in
help you.
Injustice, and they also have developed ways to get around those things. Like you can get around getting hit multiple times and blocking. Each character has a strong point and weakness. They do have those. They built. See, that's the thing about Injustice and Mortal Kombat. Was it 9? I think they developed the game to have weaknesses and one character's a little weakness is better than the other. So you do have different ways of getting out of that, getting around it. They have you can roll, you can block, you can go into the clash mode if you have
I just wish they did that for Tekken and DOA.
They do. It's called counters.
It's called. I'm on the
Okay,
floor.
okay,
and
so
I haven't gotten up since he punched me in the face
DOA
once.
has a DOA.
I'm still on the floor.
Wait, DOA has a. I'll agree with it on this.
Yeah, right.
DOA does have a block and they have parries, right?
They do.
The thing is, when you're on the floor,
That means nothing.
and Tekken does this too. They've been doing this since they first made the game. When you're on the floor, I can trip you and hit you. I can still kick you if you're on the floor.
Yeah.
It's supposed
That goes into the whole juggling aspect.
Not really. If you're on the floor, I'm not kicking you up off the floor.
No.
I'm kicking you and your character is sliding back, giving you time to get up.
No.
Yes.
Because depending on who you picking her Wang with fucking Eddie Gordo and shit, I ain't got time to get off the floor. You might as well give me a mop. I'm a fucking bad.
Eddie Gordo. Eddie Gordo's not winner. You know he's gonna be on the floor doing a twirly shit in the console.
Yeah,
but that was broken shit because the motherfucker would
second three.
He would start whenever you're on the floor, and he would start fucking doing that goddamn windmill kick. Yeah. He would windmill kick while you're on the floor and still be hitting you, and you're like, what the fuck?
That was second three. Yeah.
I'm trying to get up, can't get up. I'm on the floor. All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love this game. Thank you. Bye.
That Capoeira.
When it comes to fighting games, you already know where my head's at. You know what I'm gonna say. I've been saying that for years. Best technical game was fucking King of Fighters 2006 because. And I know you're looking at me. He's like, yo, he's always talking about this game, but technically, it was great. If you're on the floor, I can parry out the way. I can do all this stuff. It's if somebody's throwing a move at me and it's a swoop and power move. If it's a punch, I can counter that because literally, like if it's real fighting, somebody throws their hands at me, I'm gonna counter it and flip this motherfucker over. And it was great. I love the game. Technically, it was great. Why don't we have those little tweaks in other games that are big blockbusters?
You want the honest answer? Nowadays, mostly certain games nowadays have to have this big, lustrous, super overpowered move that nobody else can hit. You can't parry it, can't counter it. But there is ways that they do get certain characters' abilities to parry and counter it.
But I mean, then that's
and it really depends on the counter.
Then that's why I don't like fighting games that are like that. In terms of
they try to make it harder than what it should be.
No, not harder. They make it easier for people that are 10 years old to play.
I like fighting games that have more technicality to it, more technique involved and realism. Like the fighting game I enjoy the most right now, and they would consider it a sports game. It's UFC. Because it's an actual fighting game.
It's a sports game, but yeah. I like UFC games.
I see why they would count it because it's competitive sports, but at the same time, it's fighting.
Yeah. So
what's next on the topic?
Oh, right. So Ubisoft just announced The Division 2. Oh my god, I'm so happy that they announced this shit. If you have not been,
I don't know how happy you should be. Remember what The Division was when it first came out, and what it is now.
But here's the thing: because the way it is now,
but they now in 2018 is when it's a complete game, and that game came out in like 2016.
Unless hopefully Ubisoft,
But the thing is, what they've said, they've learned from their mistakes from over the years. From the game that we have now, the actual complete game of
Bungie said the same thing about Destiny. And then look what happened.
Destiny 2.
And Destiny 1 was way better.
Two different companies.
Every company says the same thing.
Yeah. They're politicians at the end of the day.
And Ubisoft is another company that's notorious for putting out incomplete games, I should say. Watch Dogs.
Oh, come on.
Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed
Unity was incomplete.
Yeah, and it was buggy as fuck.
Unity.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Bro, Ubisoft is notorious for that shit.
Hell no.
I mean, hopefully they did learn from their mistakes, but
because the thing is the one thing about The Division, the community that it has built over the years, and the hype it has gotten that first year when they first came out, it was. It's still.
But the division is one of those things where it's something where it's a rare thing for what the Division did. It doesn't happen in games a lot.
No, it doesn't.
The Division came out and a lot of people dropped off from the game. A lot of people. They kept at it, and the Division made a comeback, which is something that not a lot of games do. The Division absolutely made a comeback. Absolutely. Right now, there's a lot of people playing the Division. Actually, the Division came out in September of 2016?
Something like that, yeah.
Fucking a lot of people dropped off from it. It's a 2-year-old game.
I'm one of those people.
And right now, it's a 2-year-old game, and right now the Division has overtaken Destiny 2 on Twitch.
The amount of stuff that they added into the game,
March 8th, 2016.
Yeah. Yay! 1 year.
That's right. 1 year anniversary.
Well, 2 years, 3 years.
Joy.
Yeah, 2
But
years.
the things that they added to make the game better, and
is what they promised to give us at E3 when they first announced it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So come on, it's just like guys, you're 2 years late on this shit, but okay.
But also too, you got to realize too, like the company that worked on the Division the first time, it wasn't the massive company, the massive company that been working on it to improve it. They are working on the Division 2, versus Ubisoft is not doing it on their own. It's Massive that's doing it now. Massive improved the Division tremendously. That's why the Division has grown so much, because Massive has taken it and with the 1.8, the 1.7, all those updates, has built it completely all over, made it evenly played. You know, the only they have global events, which is something that we never got. Global events, you can play all these maps, the different all the different maps, and get all the different armor and stuff like that, and constantly, and it's great because everybody's on an even playing now.
Wait.
Now if you go to the what's it called? I was about to call it Badlands. I'm thinking of this TV show. Dark Zone. Now if you go to the Dark Zone, yeah, it's what it really is. It's the Dark Zone. It's like fucking.
And they even tweaked that too.
They tweaked it. Tweaked it. They tweaked the Rogue thing, Rogue 2.0 now. Like you just can't like. They tweaked the
Those
whole
people
thing.
who would accidentally shoot other players and become rogues.
Rogues, yeah.
And now they change.
You actually have to hit the button. You hold it's hold, and then they see you becoming a rogue, and then you know.
Now, did you say that they only worked on the Division partially?
Yeah.
Massive Entertainment?
Yeah.
Because it says that they're the main developers.
Yeah.
Ubisoft are the publishers, with assistance of Red Storm Entertainment.
So that's the thing. That's why I say I wouldn't get so hyped for it, because
I'll just wait for it.
That's what you do. Do you still pre-order games?
No.
You're
I'm about
gonna
to say, if you did, I would have.
because you set yourself up for disappointment that way, because I just go based off of their history, and from their history is look what they promised and what they showed in the E3 trailer and what they actually put out. You were like, holy fuck, this game.
For instance, Watch Dogs.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, you
but
gotta
with
go back to that.
the division itself, like they showed
shameful.
all this shit. And honestly, right now it's a more complete game. But even now, they don't have all the shit that they promised in that trailer.
True.
In the game right now.
What are you talking about? Yeah, they do. They have everything.
You gotta go back. We gotta go back and watch the E3
The original
trailer.
they have pretty much everything. The only thing they don't have, I would say, is the way you looked at the map. Where the map will actually just pop up in front of you while you're. That's the only thing they really don't have.
E3 15 or 16?
It was 15.
Yeah, it had to be
Okay.
15, yeah.
That's the only thing they don't have. They don't have that. They had a fucking drone in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were remember
It was a drone. Was it?
remember you were able to. They said that you were going to be able to play the game from a mobile device as a drone.
Yep.
In the game, and that's not something that's in the game.
That's not in the game.
And then they added.
Also, what about that ice drop engine or whatever the fuck they said they were going to use, where everything was going to be destructible. When you shoot shit, everything just is completely destructible.
And
Walls, cars, all that shit. They never implemented that either.
Mm.
They promised shit that was a little bit too much. I think they were ambitious about what they wanted to do, and they couldn't do it.
Also, too, you gotta realize, like, also too, sometimes the publisher wants to push the game out faster than it needs.
Yeah, but don't lie to the people.
Shit, a lot. You know what's funny? A lot of games do it now. A lot of companies do it now.
Exactly, and that's what we're saying. Yeah, bad.
Shit, I mean, Call of Duty sold out like 2 million in a week. So, I mean, shit.
Speaking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now,
Oh, for God's sake!
I Black Ops series is probably
Except for the first one.
you like the first one.
I like the first
No,
one.
he said
Oh,
except
no,
for
no, the first
Not the first one and the second one was
the first one was
awesome.
better.
I love the first
The
one.
second one was hot.
The first one was legit.
Because everything they did, because everything you want, like everything you could wish in the first one, they put in the second one. It was awesome. I love the first one, the second one, the third one I still had, and I've never gotten a Call of Duty after that.
Only reason why I like the first Black Ops is because they ventured in a place that they haven't ventured ever, which was Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah. Never ventured Vietnam. They always went World War II. They always went to Maine. That's it. To the modern warfare, future, and World War II. Like that's it.
Black Ops 3 was the first one to go there.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're so quick to get into the future because they was like, oh, people love modern warfare. Let's go to the future. And then Infinite Warfare came out. Everybody hated it
Because
nobody cares about running on fucking walls and shooting
shooting
guns, smart bullets. What?
Well, the thing
No.
is, Black Ops 3
Might as
kind
well
of...
play Crackdown.
No, Black Ops 3. I'm still waiting for that game.
That's
Crackdown
never
4.
coming
I
out.
don't know why. I think that got canceled.
It did.
Did it?
Yeah.
That shit got canceled a long
Crackdown
time
4?
ago. Yes.
Damn, Microsoft. Anyway.
Microsoft, man, that's some shit.
Only thing I say about Call of Duty is
You're only making a movie too, right?
I think Call of
No, I didn't
Duty.
know that. Wow.
I think Black Ops
Okay.
I did enjoy more than Modern Warfare,
Yeah.
the Black Ops series. But what I always wanted to come to the Black Ops series that Modern Warfare had was my favorite mode, my favorite game mode, which is it's like it's survival where they just had waves of dudes coming at you.
Yeah.
I loved that mode in Modern Warfare, and I wish they would come over to Black Ops.
You know
They
what?
did it in 3, I believe.
You know what? I actually when Black Ops
Black Ops survival thing is the zombie.
Yeah, and it's
I was just
And
about to say, I thought they were
everyone
pushing the
does
envelope.
Everybody
with
does
that, you know what I'm
zombies,
saying?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
now
that's...
see
that's
what,
not what I was
what I
looking
would want different, even though like I know some people who play the Call of Duty franchise, they just it's a pick them up and shoot everybody until they die type bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, and you there's no consequence when playing these games in story mode, like because they do the whole thing where when you go when a friendly go past you, your gun can't shoot or anything like that, right? Now Black Ops, what I was expecting at the end of that, like what the story was doing in the first game, it was almost giving you this notion that, like, especially towards the end, it gave you this notion, or not really gave you the notion, it's actually true, that you were playing literally two different characters.
Yeah.
You were literally the villain of the entire fucking story, and you didn't even know it.
I love games like that.
But here's the thing is, like, that part when you walking through, was it the CIA building or the... It gave me this idea, like, why don't Call of Duty do, like, a game where instead of you being this soldier, fucking be a government agent? Counter-terrorism type bullshit.
I guess they don't want to get into shit like that because they're like, oh, CIA, and then people more conspiracy theories.
Nigga, they did a
Because-
fucking thing called No Russian.
Oh yeah.
That fucking scene alone was... They had to make a thing that says, hey, if you want to skip this this stage, you can. You don't
Also-
have to play this.
Also,
they had
when
to do
that
that
game-
because people were shitting on
Yeah.
that. because
Also,
of
when
it.
think
that
they got in
game,
trouble
if you
for that.
remember
They
when
did.
when that game came out, motherfuckers were asking for ID.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
When you
They
bought,
just,
Oh,
they
yeah.
just, because I think I was looking at GameStop at the time.
'Cause
They had just started doing that.
Because technically, it's the first Call of Duty game where they gave you the option to kill civilians in a airport.
Oh, that makes sense.
The thing is too.
But the thing is,
it's
people are like,
crazy.
"Oh my god, brain exploding! Oh, I can't have this. We can't have this." To me, it furthered the story because it gave you a moral compass. You had the option not to shoot anybody.
Option.
No, you had an option.
You had the option to shoot or not to shoot. Majority of the people shot because they're all like, they have it in their brains like I need to keep my cover, so I have to shoot.
They're invested in the game.
They got invested with the character, even though the character dies like that.
I gotta tell you, I was around the time that game came out. I was listening to a lot of talk radio, and there was these on a comedy show. There was these dudes who were talking about the game, and it was like, and the one dude was just like, "All right, let's talk about this game, Modern Warfare. This fucking game made me question my morality." And he was talking about the fucking no Russian.
Yeah,
it's true though.
Like games that make it seem like
psychologically, yeah.
You ever play Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice?
No,
bro. This game, I think it was the successor to what's the game? What's the game with that chick with the sword and
Blood Rain.
Blood Rain? No.
Blood Rain.
Not
Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword. Heavenly Sword. Really?
It was
one
it's
of
called
the first PlayStation
This was called
3
Hellblade.
games.
Right.
And this one, the girl you're playing at is struggling with psychosis. So throughout the entire game, what they did is that the voice acting is very important to like the story and everything. But what they also did is like audio is important. If you play this game with fucking, even from the TV, but if you play it with fucking headphones on, you're constantly hearing voices in your fucking head.
Wow, that's creepy.
And while you're doing shit, and it'll be like you're trying to figure out a puzzle, and the voice will say something in your left ear, another will say something in your right ear, and you're like, what?
That's crazy.
You know what that reminds me of, though, right? The Condemned. That game fucked me up.
You always come up with some weird.
No.
No,
It's a very well-known game.
Oh wait, the one on Xbox.
That fucked me up.
I remember that.
When you fought crazy people with pipes.
Yeah, it fucked me up because
I remember that.
Because at the end, I'm like, what the? I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
No, but you know
he became.
He became one of them. Basically,
it fucked me up.
You might know this too. It's an older game. I think it was on the
PS2.
No. I think it's a Nintendo.
Damn, Nintendo.
Wow.
No, not Nintendo. The company Nintendo.
Oh, but
it's
the same
by
taking it back.
Wow.
But
Take it back.
God, what's the name of it? Eternal. Fuck. You basically played as these different people.
Eternal Champions?
No.
No.
God, I'm trying to remember.
Indigo Prophecy?
No, but that's another good one.
What's the other game?
It's Eternal something, and you basically dealt with
Heavy Rain. The Origami Killer.
Oh, fuck.
See, that's another.
Yes.
What is it?
Thank you. Eternal Darkness. Is it Nintendo?
I don't know.
Was it made in? Was it on? What?
You sure?
I don't
Nintendo?
recall this game at all.
I don't recall
I
the game
remember
being on
Eternal
Nintendo.
Darkness was on PS2?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like,
Is it Eternal Darkness?
Nintendo, I don't think ever did games like that. It was always Sony that did games that were really.
Yeah, Nintendo was very happy-go-lucky.
Yeah,
right
Nintendo. You said Nintendo,
Weren't they now?
I remember those motherfuckers
What was
I still won't forgive them for Tetsunoka versus Capcom. What a waste. To put it
Ah,
on the Wii.
man.
Why would they do that?
Lord. What a mind
Yo,
fuck.
what was the game?
What was the other anime all-star fighting game?
There's
one on PS4. It's called
Yeah, there was a PS.
Oh, the
PS
J-Stars. J-Stars.
J-Stars. Oh, yeah.
That was actually good. That was actually.
Oh no!
That shit had
It's Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a psychological horror action adventure game developed by Silicon Knights.
I remember
and
that.
produced and published by Nintendo. It was on Nintendo 64 and then launched on the GameCube in 2002.
Okay.
It didn't work. It didn't do the whole. It basically had a sanity effect where it fucked with your visuals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You played as a character, and depending on what you were doing, it messed with you visually. Like if you're walking near a dark alley, it starts getting all like wavy and dark, and then gets really creepy to the point where like,
You know what I would have did? Took out my controller, put the second one, act like I'm playing Psycho Menace.
You stupid. You stupid.
You know, people try to do that shit in Metal Gear Solid 4. When you play as when you try to fight the person who's like Psycho Menace and that shit doesn't work.
No,
because there's no memory card.
Yeah.
and it was
digital controller.
It was a digital controller. That won't work, and that's exactly what that bitch said.
Oh,
and I was like, what?
What the shite?
No, not today.
Yeah, you basically played as several different characters who struggle to keep your sanity in this place.
You know what that game reminds me of?
And it had this thing where you basically and it basically had this thing where
I think you said that like 15 times in this fucking episode.
If each,
you know what that reminds me of?
I think each character, like, they don't have to make it at the end.
Yeah.
Like, if one of them dies, you just continue on. But the thing is, you start seeing them while you're playing.
That's fucking creepy.
Like, if you pass by a mirror, you see them in the mirror when you pass by it, and then you walk back and they're not there no more. But then you turn around and they're right there. It's a creepy game.
That reminds me of Manhunt. No such thing.
Man, didn't have creepy shit like that. You were the creepy shit.
No such thing as a happy ending. That was the problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In that game,
no,
no.
They don't
Even when you beat the game,
no.
it had a fucked up ending.
Yeah,
Of course.
That's why I love that game so
it had
much.
multiple different endings.
Rockstar is amazing with the games like that. Even with restricted like limitations to their technology back then.
Agreed.
When we were playing Until Dawn as a group.
Oh my god.
That fucking game.
That messed with
that game, yeah.
Oh wow.
Dude, that the next day I was just playing with just Sonya and just playing the game just based off of her fucking assumptions. Everyone died. Like you are the worst horror movie person in the world. I know now you will die in a fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
Everyone got killed based off of her choices. I was like,
God,
God,
listen to this person.
I mean, yeah, we basically find out what
No
kind of
more
people we
drugs
are while we play that
for
game.
that one over there.
Yeah.
Truly, while we were playing, I was just like, wow, I don't want to be friends with you guys no more.
Speaking about
decision gonna get us killed.
Speaking about like games, and apparently someone is blaming video games for a shooting.
Oh, jeez.
Who now?
Who's someone?
Trump.
Trump's always doing that.
Fuck
Anyway,
Trump.
move on.
Him, yeah. Next.
Hold on.
So you gonna tell me the video game is responsible for the last fucking massacres in the last 100 years?
He's blaming video games. He's blaming video games.
Who cares? Trump is jumping on the same
bandwagon as that one dude who tried to fight the shit with Rockstar and lost.
It's ridiculous. It's been proven by many people that it's not a thing.
Even psychologists have been proven like video games do not entice.
You don't take
violence.
anything. You don't take anything that Cheeto says for.
by the way,
Does anybody have any Cheetos, by the way?
You want Cheetos now?
Subliminal marketing.
Roundhouse.
God damn, I want some Cheetos now.
By the way, did you know State of Decay's release date?
I think it was May or March.
May 22nd, 2018.
So
Yeah.
Coming up.
I just looked it up because I was like, oh, wait, State of Decay. Because it's one of the upcoming games.
Yeah.
But like I was saying earlier,
I'm still Sonya's Xbox One when that game comes out.
like I was saying to you earlier,
Hello
Caesar, about when we were talking about Call of Duty. Yeah, they're making a Call of Duty movie, and the guy who directed what's that Benicio del Toro movie?
Sicario.
The guy who directed Sicario 2 is doing the Call of Duty
I
movie.
can't wait for Sicario.
Ooh, yeah.
So
all right, interesting choice.
I don't know what storyline they're doing,
So it's not
or
gonna
whether
be,
they're making their own. I don't know.
is it gonna be
It'd
Modern
be cool to see.
Warfare, or-
It'd be cool to see.
They don't know yet. It
Put
just
it like
said
this.
Call of Duty.
It'd be cool to see Captain Price. I ain't going for it.
Well, you know.
That'd be that. I would think that.
That was the
that'd be
best.
storyline.
That's the
that'd be the
one
storyline to go
true
after,
series that they actually had to everybody.
But I mean, now video game movies don't really follow the video games.
But you know, it'd be a crazy
Resident Evil,
movie for them to
perfect
do.
example.
Black Ops, where he actually is there. He's the one who killed JFK. And Black Ops at the end,
Who did?
And Black Ops at the end. Mason.
Oh yeah.
That'd be because he was there. Like when you, that fucked me up. I was like,
you met him.
You met him.
You shook his
fucking hand. But he's
in the gameplay, dude.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the end, you're like, I shot that bitch.
You see, and while the thing is while the narrator is going, you see him.
Was he? He was like schizophrenic or some shit.
No. He was a sleeper agent.
He was a sleeper agent for
the Russians.
The Russian.
He was basically a Winter Soldier.
Nah.
But what was the last?
Without superpowers.
Yeah,
What was
correct.
the last movie that actually followed the video? I think Prince of Persia was the last one.
Follow the video game.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Assassin's Creed did not follow the video.
No. Wait.
Hold on. Prince of Persia did Prince of Persia 1 and 2. They 1, 2, and 3. They used the story from Prince of Persia 1, but they added a lot of elements from 2 and 3.
Yeah, they did.
Now Assassin's Creed.
Which one was the one that had the Haka?
Second one.
The second one?
Second one, yeah.
Now hold up. Assassin's Creed just continued the story of the game. It's a completely different story.
Yeah.
That's within the same storyline.
But I mean, yeah, I understand. But I mean,
I know that basically it just takes the game and
takes the game storyline and puts it into.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. They took the story from the first one.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if y'all think this count, I mean, I'm pretty sure you do. Street Fighter, Assassin's Fist. I mean, I think that takes a good majority of it. I mean, even though it's a web series, still
It does take the alpha
story.
storyline. I mean, it does follow it pretty closely to the chest.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
You're
right.
It does take the alpha storyline. I would take that one.
I would think that's the one they would, because that's when they really started to flesh out an actual like cohesive story. It was with Street Fighter Alpha.
Yeah.
They had to the thing is when they kept doing the Street Fighter, they was like, wait, we don't know when all these things started. Let's do alpha. And people was like, what the fuck is alpha? Until they actually, shit, this got a story? I better pay attention.
Split this nigga's forehead and then I give him a bad Pow, you my friend. Head trauma between friends.
The coolest thing
They
though,
had young Ken with the long ass hair.
Yes.
with the fucking tie, like the little
Yeah, the
thing in his hair.
man,
But it gave you the story on how Akuma became who he is and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
And it gave you the first time you get to play with their master.
Right, Goken.
Yeah, Goken.
Yeah.
Alpha is the one that introduced Akuma though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's what I mean. When they,
Actually,
Well, actually,
Super Street Fighter.
and no one knew who he was.
Street Fighter 2.
He jumped. He's Super Street Fighter 2.
Oh,
He
yeah,
jumped
yeah,
out.
yeah.
He was that
Killed
secret.
Bison.
Right.
And then he fought Ryu.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
But
I heard that was a rumor. And then
No.
No, that was real. That was
He
real.
jumped
That
out
was true.
behind Bison. Like it's the last board.
He
You're
jumped
about
out
to fight
from
Bison.
Asian Demon
He jumps
Bison.
out.
The
Yeah.
Super Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
He jumps out
With the new
behind
characters.
Bison, fucking raging demon his ass. Bison falls to the ground, and what's his name points at you, and then you guys start to fight.
You
Right.
got hit by a smooth criminal.
That you have.
Basically.
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
So basically you're saying okay, Division 2 and Black Ops 4.
I don't know anything else that's really coming out. I guess everything's kind of close to the chest right now because it's till E3.
Well, yeah, E3 is right around the corner.
Okay, what is this? It's March,
Going
right?
back to CD Projekt Red, at E3 they're supposed to finally show their like stuff from their new game, Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk 2099.
2077.
Oh! This one, what is it? Anthem. That's the one game.
Oh, fuck that.
Wow.
The reason why I say that is because when you look at it, it's because they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna stop everything on Mass Effect Andromeda, everything because it was like, oh, that's another fucking game that's an unfinished game.
Yeah.
And that game had so much potential, especially when you finally beat it and you're like, oh, they didn't introduce these guys, but they just Easter egged it. Oh my God, we're gonna get a DLC. No DLC. You're gonna get it in comic book or graphic novel form. Go fuck yourself. Like seriously, you just fucking shitted on every fan in the world.
They just
and I've been waiting on that game for
fuck
years.
Mass Effect.
So you can wait some more.
Wait. When did Mass Effect 3, right?
Mass Effect Andromeda. It was a
When
new...
did it come out?
Maybe 2 years ago.
2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 2016. But
I'm willing to see.
Sorry.
I'm willing to see
March 21st, 2017.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
You know why they stopped though, right?
They were doing Anthem at the same time, though.
Yeah, they wanted to do.
Also, they were doing Battlefront.
They were focusing on their new it's BioWare. The fuck are you talking about?
Battlefront wasn't BioWare.
But
Andromeda
Andromeda was BioWare.
They're talking about BioWare.
Andromeda is
yeah,
BioWare.
BioWare.
The fuck are you talking about?
It was only published by EA.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that BioWare kind of admitted that they stopped this because they were doing
Because
it.
they wanted to do Anthem.
And then when you look at Anthem, it's just an updated, prettier version of this game. And then they fucking and people were like, nah, we're not fucking with that game. Give us the other game that you didn't finish, you motherfuckers.
I think I was reading something, an article where they were asking about the shooting specs of how shooting goes, and they kind of just gave it like they asked the person, and then they gave them like a shitty, like a half-ass answer, and they were like, wait, what? It's a lot of
You press the button, you kill people.
No. They were asking if it was like, if it was going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? They had it. I guess it was just like point
and shoot.
Is it going to be first person?
I don't even know.
It's third person.
I think so.
What game are you talking
Anthem.
about? Oh, okay, yeah. Anthem, I just told you. It's a prettier version.
Not that. I'm
Andromeda.
talking about the gameplay.
Oh, the gameplay. The gameplay is just
They asked if it was going to be like Mass Effect.
No, they asked
how the mechanics.
How the
game
shooting is going to be. It's going to be like kind of like Mass Effect, or is it going to be like like go and shoot and stuff
They're
like
probably keeping it to the like you said, keeping it to the chest because they don't want anybody shitting on their stuff anymore.
Yeah, correct.
But I'm sorry.
On Xbox, Sea of Thieves is coming out.
I just read about that.
What is that?
That's coming out this year, right?
It's like a pirate game.
Oh, okay. Is a kitty?
You take
No.
Okay.
Not really, but it does have those. It does have those cartoony graphics. It does. But it's like it's you and a team of people. It's multiplayer. You and a team of people each have different assignments on a pirate ship.
Sounds cool.
There's another one called A Way Out.
No Way Out or Way Out?
A Way Out.
A Way Out, where you play as two different. It's like a co-op game, or you could play as one person. You play this. You play through a story of these two dudes who plan. They're in prison. They plan a prison escape, and then stuff happens after they get out.
Prison Break, but with
like
no good ending.
No such thing as a
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Far Cry 5.
nice.
Which is already announced. Oh, and also
Far Cry 5.
God of War.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely waiting for that. That's what's that? Is that June?
I'm not sure. It just says 2018 here.
So after E3 probably.
There's a game called Vampire.
I wonder what that about.
Shiny or
You ever seen anything on it though?
No,
I mean, it doesn't look bad, but again, I'm over the whole vampire
Me
thing,
too.
and they're just.
Oh, by the way,
And then Red Dead Redemption 2.
which I can't wait.
True story.
Now, okay,
Bro.
anybody here who has PlayStation 4?
Why'd you stutter on that?
I'm sorry,
He lost count.
I did because they are developing 5 right now.
They can develop
course
these
they-
both.
Everybody,
I understand.
Actually, they're developing.
Here's the thing.
Hold on,
I understand why they're developing 5.
I know, but before we get to that, I'm sure everybody got the 5.50.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
What the
okay. He
What the
said,
hell did it do?
Oh,
What you gonna say?
no, what were you gonna say?
Okay, with that update, here's something that I thought it was pretty fucking cool that they did this
You were
shit.
just gonna talk about the update, so go ahead. I was just gonna get to these.
If you have a PS4 Pro, now there is a reason to get yourself a PS4 Pro, because now with this update, they have the option to turn on, what's it called, super scaling, something like that?
Yeah.
And what it does is if you don't have a 4K TV, if you have 2K,
Oh,
it'll still, if you turn on super scaling, it'll still it'll still give you the fucking updated visuals for games that actually do it.
Which means the system will be running faster and harder, but it'll run.
But it's a PS4.
Yeah, it's a PS4, so yeah. I'm still waiting for them to give us that update where you can change your screen name. You have the option to continuously change your screen name. Because eventually they're gonna have that.
I don't know why that's such a thing. It was always even with Microsoft, motherfuckers are like, all right, if you want to change the screen name, give us this amount of money.
I got my screen name from the first day I got it. Luckily, I got it on the day of, because if I didn't, I wouldn't.
He was in LA for this. You mean? You didn't say nothing. Never mind, keep going.
What'd you say? He's like, you in LA Fitness, didn't you? Shut up.
You were coming back home.
True.
Anyway, yeah, everybody. I when I first got my PS4, I got it the day it came out, and I was like, let me get this name before it goes. But see, that's just me.
I know.
That was just me.
I know.
Other than that, like, if I didn't have a name to care about, I fucking would have waited.
Acidic AIDS.
Oh my God. Not that name, but that was an old Xbox name.
Throwback.
That was an old Xbox name. Holy fuck. Oh my God. I can't.
Here Roundhouse.
Hey, that's still my name.
I don't know why you kept the here part. The only reason they gave you here is because they couldn't give you Roundhouse.
Sometimes you gotta have different meanings for shit.
That wasn't a different meaning. You just didn't give a shit.
That was a randomly generated thing.
And you know what? Fuck it.
You just didn't care. I mean,
I didn't care. You know why? Because at the time when I first developed my name,
it sounds like
Roundhouse,
but it doesn't even have the S on it.
I know.
So it sounds like retarded. Ed McMahon. The here Roundhouse.
Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese.
Here around the house.
But
it's fine for me because when I first developed my name, I was playing Call of Duty a lot, and I was like,
oh shit!
I was sniping the shit out of everybody. So.
That's the end of the story. We
You just rushed it right to the end.
We can really tell. We can really tell them how you really got the name Roundhouse the bookie. Okay, but let's not go there.
Not in this.
That came about from a Mortal Kombat game, didn't it?
No, that came from a Soul Calibur game.
Oh, it was Soul Calibur. Yeah.
You know, the money grab sword.
Money grab sword.
No, not. Sorry, Armageddon. It was Mortal Kombat.
Armageddon. It was. Because he had the money grab sword.
And he was doing Shotokan ass.
Shotokan ass. And we were like, Shotokan ass practitioner. Shotokan ass. What the hell is Shotokan ass? It's like, Shotokan to whoop your ass. I was like, this man.
And then with him being so obsessed with taking money as he did in the beginning of this episode, wants to take money from everybody, fucking became a bookie. So we did Roundhouse like a kick, the boogie.
So now in Monster Hunter, this nigga is Roundhouse. His cat's name is Bookie. he wields the money grab sword and the fucking pay me now shield.
Pay me now shield. That sounds like shit you give away in the infomercial. If you buy this money grab sword now, you can get the pay me now shield for free.
And I charge it up, and I have the paycheck now.
The paycheck now. Oh my God.
Send that my way.
Oh,
Jesus.
But I hate that nigga Gante. Yes, I said nigga Gante. That motherfucker's hard.
Oh my God. I remember. I remember this one time. You were like, what was it? I forgot. It was either like Rainbow Six. It was either Rainbow Six, and I just laughed. It was like the craziest. This dude was in a pistols. This dude was in a pistols only match.
It was
and they were killing this man mercilessly, and he was mad as hell. Like, yo, my gun on fire right now. You try to shoot him in the head.
Rainbow
Six.
Like,
nah, I'm shooting him in the head like 6 times. Like, you did outlines on this motherfucker. You ain't nothing. And he was mad as shit. And he was in like 3 rounds. The 3rd round, he just couldn't take it anymore. It's a pistols only match. Somebody shot him. He's like, nah, fuck this. So this fucking asshole.
Wait, wasn't that me who was shooting around people?
No.
I
done that.
You did that.
You did it one game.
I think that was That was Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was like
he was in a multiplayer. We were all watching. This nigga was just like, "Oh, what the fuck? I killed that nigga." Was like, "Nah, nigga, you shot an outline around that nigga."
Yeah, the nigga shot around.
Martin style.
So he said, "Fuck it."
He said, "Fuck it," and he was just tired of it. So his asshole, knowing it's a pistols only match, whips out a shotgun, kills like 6 people, and then eject them from the game. He was like, "What the fuck happened?" I think they ejected me from the game. You think?
Yeah, I got when Rainbow Six came out. Like they doing pistols only, but they were mad cheap with it. Like
they weren't cheap.
They were cheap, motherfuckers.
They weren't cheap. There was pistols, and you suck at pistols.
No, I don't suck at pistols.
No, you do.
And you just really fucking competitive for no.
You are.
We remember fucking the video game club in college, and this motherfucker's like, "Alright, bro, you died. Give up the nigga, one more."
And we used to have to do push-ups if we lost. This nigga had to do one push-up.
Yeah, you a bitch for that too, motherfucker. Alright, nigga.
I do my push-ups at home where no one sees you.
Yeah. If you lose 10 push-ups, it's like fuck push-ups.
If you lose,
and give me
our arms were big as hell. This guy, jelly donuts.
if he dies, he dies.
If
he dies. And then he does push-ups.
All right, what's next on the topic?
Oh my god.
Anyone? Bueller.
Bueller.
It snowed.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. He's like,
I hope it's for the last time.
They said something about Monday.
Monday? God damn.
It's not supposed to be as bad
as long as it's not Tuesday, I'm Gucci.
You and that fucking word. Yeah. Yes, but we know what that. Well, we know what that day is. But
what day is that? It's Gucci Day.
It's Gucci Day.
That means it's good.
I understand that.
Alright, as long as you good.
Do we have anything on movies? Black Caesar?
Well, let's see. Brought to my attention, they're trying to get back on the Green Lantern pony again. Yeah, stop me if you're worried.
Are we going to talk about that right now?
Yes.
Because I have so much negativity right now.
Prepare to be like hurt and offended. Yeah. Well, mixed feelings like me. You'll decide. But apparently, the the current Mission Impossible director,
and the new Mummy
of Fallout.
Well, yeah, and Rogue Nation.
Of Rogue Nation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Christopher McQuarrie, and he also did Jack Reacher, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, supposedly he's going to be, this isn't official yet. He has his eye for rumor. Spoiler alert. He's trying to get his hands on the Green Lantern Corps movie, where an older, more experienced Hal Jordan is going to be training a young John Stewart. Yeah, sounds
young John Stewart.
Yeah, you would think
maybe young Kyle Rayner.
Yeah. Well,
keeping it real. I've been saying this for years as a Green Lantern fan.
Yes.
Fuck Hal
Jordan.
Yes. Oh,
we know you're.
We know. Wait. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you what.
Tired.
Explain
Jordan.
Explain it.
Explain why I'm tired of Hal Jordan.
Yeah, explain it.
Yeah, because we know you love. We know you love Kyle.
We know you love the Lanterns. But explain. Wait, hold on. Explain why.
Besides Hal Jordan being an Anakin Skywalker and motherfucking Green Lantern,
he is.
Well, yeah, duly noted.
But then he redeemed him.
He did.
Yeah,
and I give him props for that. Yeah. But the reason why I'm a big Kyle Rayner fan, nothing against John Stewart. John Stewart is basically a lot of people's entry for Green Lantern, because a lot of people didn't know who the hell he was until Justice League. The TV show the cartoon came on. It's like, here's John Stewart. They're like, wait a minute, who's this guy? I thought it was John Stewart. Understand. But at the same time, the reason why I favor Kyle Rayner over Hal Jordan
why are you saying
is because Hal had the freaking tutelage and training from the Corps. It's been around for eons. Yeah. So did freaking John Stewart. So did Guy Gardner. Kyle Rayner was with his buddy on his way to get a job, got drunk, went to go puke his guts out in the back of the alley. a big galactical blue midget came and said, "Hey, look, here's this ring. What do I do with it? What you must clean up that puke." You know, paraphrasing. But
he was an artist, right?
Yes, he was an
He was
artist.
an
artist.
And he basically had to learn everything on his own. He had the aid of other superheroes, but he was the only Green Lantern.
I was just gonna say he was the last of the Green Lanterns.
He was the last of the Green Lanterns.
Exactly.
And not only did he, and not only did he,
It wasn't a pal.
grow as a hero, he grew as a person. He had to learn like real talk, like shit was real. Motherfucking mom was in the motherfucking. No, his girlfriend was in the refrigerator. And then his mom was in the oven and shit was real. As he learned to be a hero more and more.
He learned brought real back the tragedy.
Core. He brought back the core by himself. And
became the Ion.
He became the Ion.
Right.
And the White Lantern.
Then the White Lantern.
Right.
And it's like he did a whole bunch of shit. And it's like, all right, cool. Kyle's like, hey, I saved the planet from, intergalactic, organization. He's like, all right, that's nice. But your rent's due, motherfucker. That's real shit.
That's some.
I
you know what Kyle Rayner is? Kyle Rayner is the Spider-Man
Exactly.
of the DC.
Yeah,
good point.
That's what he was.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was that everyday guy that just all of a sudden, here's the most powerful weapon in the universe. What the fuck do I do with that? Whatever you must
instruction
do.
manual. Right. They get that nigga intergalactic smartphone.
You know what's funny?
The first
Like,
biracial. Yeah, the first
You know what's funny?
biracial.
Like I totally agree with you because
Because rights. Ha ha! Pow!
but fucking Carolina wine mixer.
Pow! All right, we're good. All right, we're good.
You saying pow pow pow? Oh, I fucking love Step Brothers. But anyway,
why wasn't there a Green Lantern in the Justice League movie? Well, they showed the Green Lantern. They showed a Green Lantern when they were talking about the war.
I will tell you that.
Because Ryan Reynolds and the people involved with that movie realized that movie was a piece of shit, and they couldn't do anything with that.
Well,
Agreed.
That is one, and also, which I was talking about this earlier. About
They didn't
the
have to get
difference
Ryan
between-
Of course, but it's just that because of that, it left people with a
with a
sour
bad
taste
taste in their mouth, so they didn't want to introduce him so soon, even though it's still not that soon. But one of the reasons is I was discussing with them the difference between the Snyder and the Whedon universe type thing that they did.
Yeah.
Snyder's ending, one of his post-credit endings, was two of the lanterns, two of the veteran lanterns. Wasn't it
Kilowog,
Camerate.
came to visit Bruce Wayne to warn him of an impending doom coming their way.
Well,
again,
and then wanted to let them know that they wanted to let them know that they chose someone to help them out.
How?
And basically that's what it was. They didn't say who though. They didn't say what green, which of the human Green Lanterns they chose.
I mean, it might be implied,
So
for
the Joss Whedon version really was happy and light then, because his post credit was Flash and Superman race. Which is, I thought it was fucking awesome.
That was.
It was.
Yeah.
Also, I liked that. And it had to have been Joss Whedon who did it. Anytime Batman was doing something heroic and it was only Batman on screen, you would hear it. And then the Superman theme would come on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's awesome.
That was amazing.
Josh Whedon has the ability to capture us.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, nice
Hey,
How you doing? How's everything?
Remember to cut this out.
Back from the gym, pumping iron.
Huh?
Back from the gym, pumping iron.
No, church.
Oh yeah, that's the gym.
That's the holy gym.
That's the holy gym.
Right on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Put it in the
Right
map
on. Right on. For
Days
sure.
off.
Father, the Son, and the Holy
Okay.
Spirit.
But back to the whole Green Lantern thing. At first, I thought they were going with Jon Stewart, but that's what they were choosing to do the movie with, like Jon Stewart.
Well, originally, when they were trying to do Justice League Mortal, they wanted Common to be John back in the day before it got scrapped in the whole Writers Guild strike.
I heard
It was two, so it was It was Common, and then it was Tyrese. They thought or something like that.
No, Tyrese was begging. Let's keep it real.
Oh,
Tyrese was begging.
When is he?
role.
Oh,
yeah, he was begging.
Baby. Best house song ever.
God damn. Then all right. So they went from Common to Tyrese, High Yellow to Darkness. Like,
Yeah.
this nigga's supposed to be like somewhere in the middle.
But also to brighten your day, no pun intended with that one.
No, you went there.
I did. There was one director who wanted to do a Green Lantern movie before the official one came out, and he wanted to do Kyle Rayner, but Warner Brothers was like, Kyle Rayner's not that popular. Let's do
He powered the 90s.
Let's do
Nigga powered the 90s.
He was like, let's do Hal Jordan, and then that director was like, no, and just left.
Well, you know what's messed up though? He was the Green Lantern in like the cartoons because the simple fact that when they introduced Green Lantern, they introduced Kyle Rayner. They didn't introduce Hal Jordan.
Yeah, but
they did only in the Superman adventure.
Yeah, they did. But they
also
also
cartoons. I'm saying like in
Just
movies though, guys.
in movies, if they're gonna do and they want to bring in as many people as possible, it doesn't make sense for them to be like, well, Hal Jordan is more popular. Yeah, but you're introducing this Green Lantern character, so who cares which one it is? Introduce that character.
This is why I'm glad
They
that
should just introduce the core.
for the next Green Lantern movie, it's gonna be called the Green Lantern
Core. Yeah.
It's basically about the entire Green. It's
Which is not a bad thing.
Well, if
it's
you
introducing all of the popular ones, the aliens and all of them too, including the
it's better you do it that way than do it like focus on the human Green Lanterns.
correct.
Introduce a new not a new universe, but somewhere that's out there, not Earth. You introduce a whole spectrum of different types of Green Lanterns.
Basically,
it's the same thing that they're doing with the Nova Corps. They're not going to start off with Richard, which I wish they would, but Richard's not Hal Jordan. But they're going to do the Nova Corps. They're not going to do Nova and then the Nova Corps. They're going to do the whole Nova Corps when they get into
basically
it.
What I heard with the Green Lantern Corps
They
movie,
did do that. They introduced the Nova Corps.
It is.
The Green Lantern Corps.
It's not the most popular ones.
What I heard with the Green Lantern Corps movie is that they wanted it somewhat since DC.
Kevin Feige.
No, since certain people in DC who actually do their research.
Kevin Feige.
No, not that.
I think you just made up a word.
No,
it's a magic spell called Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige. Basically, they wanted to make the Green Lantern Corps movie almost, since it's a cosmic movie, they wanted it to make it somewhat almost on par with how Guardians of the Galaxy is.
Of course.
I could do it.
Because that's what I was.
They wanted to give it its cheesiness because they got crazy, outrageous aliens and powers and shit like that. They wanted to make it almost look like it's completely different from the DC universe, which it is. You're dealing with cosmic universe out there.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
especially you have a planet.
And
that type of
they're
things.
literally the intergalactic police.
Yeah.
They
Just
police the entire
You also have a
universe.
Just like the Nova Corps.
You also have a planet that's a Green Lantern, for Christ's sake.
They live on the fucking
There's
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Oa, but
And that would
But there is
that
an
would
actual
work.
planet
See,
that's a land,
the
which is
people
awesome.
people really got into Guardians of the Galaxy.
especially Guardians of the Galaxy.
And it was
2
an undercover hit.
Oh,
which was good.
I thought, I
No, but
would have thought Valerian would have been better than it actually was, especially because it's
They
the
put
same
in
guy.
so much dough for that movie, and it didn't.
Valerian.
Me neither.
I thought it was gonna be
It was,
better than it was.
I was
The dude
kind of
from,
interested in seeing
the story
it
was
when I
kinda-
heard about. Cause is that the same guy who did
It was basically
I was
It
wondering.
was
But
like
it
a
is
big
it is
action
interesting the
That
world
was-
that he's building.
It was
And
amazing.
The
Visually,
alien shit
but
that they
story-wise-
showed. Story wise, it's kind of
Cheesy, right?
I'll still watch it because I was so interested in watching that movie.
yeah.
I would check
I
it.
wanted to watch that movie. So
I mean, I
bad.
wouldn't say don't see it. The
It's just-
story wise,
it
I
fell-
thought
it fell short.
it kind of it felt kind of flat, but it was very interesting seeing the
Oh,
world that this
Valerian,
dude
the
built.
dude with the from
the Chronicle boy.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't get to see that movie. I kind of just I guess I'll wait until it goes to HBO.
I'm reading that God of
Netflix.
War won't have microtransactions, says the director.
Yeah.
Wow,
Everyone now, when they're making the new games, they want to be sure to tell people no loot boxes, no.
I mean, when you
no
look,
microtransactions, because people now are just like,
So over it.
fuck you.
well, when you look at the last game that really
hell is
like
that?
went overboard with it.
Oh.
The last game that went overboard with
But you
it
had,
was
like-
Star Wars Battlefront 2. They were like, they
You got,
did
rat
everything.
poison in your shit.
Microtransactions,
Never know.
loot
Those sneaky
boxes,
bastards everywhere.
Amazon's Alexa
Alexa.
device
Woogie.
are glitching out, and it's basically a dystopian nightmare.
Alexa, turn off the lights.
No.
You turn off the lights.
They say They say if you ask Alexa or Echo whether they work for the CIA, they shut off.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
It's
not
none of your
cool.
business.
Well, no. I mean, you either take that or take the robot. The robot that the dude made. It was like, do you think all humans should be destroyed? Yes. Like,
They said, oh, it was jokingly.
no.
We need to go take this to the back. Shot it in the face.
Yeah.
Skynet.
Oh my god.
Didn't they say they had like the Geek Squad working like for the government or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
my-
Geek Squad.
Yeah,
the
for Best Buy. Yeah.
Shit, I gotta go to work tomorrow too.
It's like,
Oh, and also,
so
Yeah,
Your tech-
get your computer fixed.
No.
it's like so.
That's how they got you in from something.
It's like, so Jared, how's that tax evasion going? What? Nothing. How was your day?
and some other news that maybe some of the gaming community already knows. J. Paul Raines, longtime CEO of GameStop, passed away on Sunday. Battling cancer. He was 53.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. Jesus.
Who?
J. Paul
J.
Raines.
Paul Raines. He's the CEO, longtime CEO of GameStop.
Oh,
Of GameStop.
wow.
Maybe GameStop would get better now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow!
No. He is correct because
I hear you.
he owned GameStop and didn't know what the fuck he was.
I
He
never
just like-
forget. I bought a game from GameStop, and I didn't want it. 2 days I came back and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't take back games that are still in the plastic." And I'm like, "But I bought it from you." What do you mean you
Wait a
don't
minute.
take games
They
back?
don't take games back that are
They don't
still
take-
in
they-
the plastic?
They don't take games back that's brand new.
Why?
You sold me this game.
Yeah. This is part
The
of your
store- the-
inventory.
the-
Give me back my money.
The problem is this with the store policy is pretty much
Store
if
policy is
if you bought this game and you have not opened it, we cannot take it back. It's a shitty store policy.
That's the
They
dumbest
have
thing
they
I've
have
ever heard in my
they
life.
haven't
Just
changed.
taking the goddamn plastic off, man.
No.
No. If you take it off, if you take it off the
give
price,
you like $20.
$20. I wish.
if you take it
Got
off,
some
the price
gas.
drops to like so. It came out what? It's $60, right? Or
Yep.
it was
Give you back
64.
10% of what
Just
you
saying,
actually paid.
$64.99. Like just say. So you rip the plastic off, you open it, right?
They give you back $6.99.
Oh, my God.
No, you get like 40.
Same Funko, man.
Like
More games than ever before.
Oh my.
you get like
Oh,
$40
God.
back,
Crash and burn.
maybe
40.
30, maybe 30.
You don't.
That's
anyway,
that's a lot.
That's a huge.
you
Yeah.
get 20 bucks
GameStop
back.
does not give you that fucking
No.
money. No.
You get $20 back, and I
Nigga,
that's
you
why I
you
stopped
be
going.
lucky to get $40 for a console. Nigga, they don't give you. they don't.
$300 for you. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, 40 bucks.
That's that Funko Land shit. I'll never forget. I had a system. It was an old Nintendo. We had everything. We had the blasters. We had the power mat. We had like 12 games.
Wow.
Dude, I'll never forget it. He was eating a sandwich, piece of lettuce. I'll give you $5. We just looked at him like, what? And then it was the dumbest thing, but we didn't know any better back then. I was like, what happened to the system? He's like, yo, the shit was working. We just do it in the garbage. I'm like, no, we could have just bought something. I could have had the system.
Now, Rouse, tell me this.
Mm.
Did you tell me that PlayStation 4 is backwards compatible?
Yeah.
How?
Lies.
It is lies.
Really?
Do you play it on yours?
I don't have any PS3.
So shut up. You wouldn't know.
It's backwards compatible in the fact that you could pay for PS Now. And then
Yeah, exactly.
and you can play PS3 games that way.
BS. Meanwhile, Xbox One is backwards compatible now.
Yeah,
Now?
It's been
now.
backwards
Yeah,
compatible.
Because when I went to
No,
it has
no.
not.
Has
Because
not.
I have
not.
several games when my freaking 360 burnt out on me. I had to go to Let Go to get like 2 of them for like $30.
Listen, if
No,
it
they had, they had, no.
But as soon as I put
Xbox
those
One
games-
Xbox One was backwards compatible. They had a list of games that they were.
a list of games.
Listen,
Yes,
Because I
exactly.
put
So
every
that's not
game
true.
that-
That's not
I
true.
had
All
Backwards-
the games. There was a list of games.
But that's not all of them.
But again, it was
Bro.
they were selective about which games you could play.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true backwards compatibility.
I bought
the
one-
backwards.
I had like
the,
20 games that
the
didn't
Xbox,
work at all.
The Xbox's backwards
nah,
compatibility
Nah,
feature
nah.
was back in 2015 in November, but it only had a few games listed.
Yeah.
Now, as of this year, they have an extensive list.
A word?
Not
So it's still
all of
selective.
them.
So it's
Still
not. So
select-
it's
yeah.
still not truly backwards
It's not
compatible.
truly backwards compatible.
It's backwards enough.
Yeah, that's like
It's not,
somebody.
it's not every game.
That's like
but
somebody
it's,
saying,
But see,
I
here's
like
the
all
thing.
music.
But see,
and then
that's
they're
the
like,
kind
you
of
like country?
attitude. But that's
Nah.
the kind of attitude that will breed
The
fucking
same laziness.
that will breed video game companies doing the shit that they do now. Because you're just being
Okay,
like,
I'm
oh,
good.
that's enough. That's fine enough. No, you should be wanting them to give you what they say they're gonna give you.
As much as you
at
are-
least you get to play Fable.
all of them.
Who gives a fuck about Fable? That's fuck
story.
that goddamn game. And there's a reason that they stopped making them.
I
They
know,
started
yeah, I
doing
know.
Why?
shit.
Cause they suck. They fucking suck.
Yeah, if
And
if,
furthermore,
keep it real, if
they
you were
blow.
I never
if you
played
were
Fable.
if you were as agitated at certain things like you were with being a comic book purist about stuff that they did in the freaking video game industry as far as like that and not be so passive, you know,
Yeah,
like
truly.
we need more people to be like injustice. I want this, not the game, but
Yeah.
I want to go fight it. I want to go fight it because of all the bullshit that they're doing.
Here's a topic that came up with certain females that I talked to. What do you think about getting a sex doll?
Oh man.
Now that they're getting to the point where, I mean,
I
yeah,
had one. So
No,
A
you don't.
doll?
No,
No,
Oh, no,
you
a
didn't.
doll.
Not a
Yeah,
doll. You
like,
had
you had a
a goddamn detached body part, is what you had.
You had a,
Hey.
you had a flashlight.
Yeah,
So
Did you break it?
yes.
What the
hell is
fuck?
wrong with you?
Oh man.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is that. Anyway.
It is what?
What does that mean?
What? That doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't mean anything.
But here's the thing that I asked them.
Riddles.
like,
You speak
the
in
question
riddles.
I asked them was because it would be stupid to ask them if they would get sex dolls. No girl wants a sex doll.
Dildo, you mean?
No.
A
Sex-
doll. The doll.
Oh,
itself.
doll.
Doll, not an object.
Well, the
And they
price
said,
of a
listen, stop going into it because here's where I'm gonna get into the what happened
Okay.
and how backwards the girls are.
Uh-oh.
So ask them, would you let your man get a sex doll if he said I wanna get a sex doll? Just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, no.
A lot of no's?
No. It's a lot of
No.
a lot of insecurity shit came out. Oh, I'm not enough. A lot of insecurity bullshit came out. So it was like, oh, I'm not enough. Why would he need to go to a doll? And I was like, all right. So what if he said is just for his use in terms of just for his use in terms of when you're not available and stuff like that. I was like, well, he can just masturbate. I mean, technically he is
masturbating.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. He's jerking off.
I said no. That's like one step away from necrophilia.
What? What are they ridiculously dumb?
Because that was a step away from necrophilia.
Necrophilia?
Or it's,
Really?
it's a step away from
Not living.
from having sex with an unconscious woman.
What? What are they dumb? How do they
Stupid.
What
in the name
but,
of God?
and I had to explain. But here's the thing: when you're talking
Necrophilia.
about
Hold on. Before you continue. Necrophilia.
yeah.
That's the dead.
That's
So
fucking
here's,
stupid.
but here's where here's where that fucking thinking goes. This is like, okay, so I'm telling you, when we're using sex toys or masturbating, you're not thinking about that type of thing.
No.
Think about it this way: how about if everyone thought that way, then how much more depraved are you women, where you're not even using an entire body, you're using a detached body part and shoving it into yourself. Now, how isn't that more depraved than us having an actual body?
Yep. That's a true story.
Bro. Yeah, can't be a hypocrite.
So true.
I'm still trying to get a necklace.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry. That's reaching. That's way out of like.
See, that's like.
That's your ex.
That's
I
some stretch.
already knew
Really?
that. You know why? Because it sounded ridiculous.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Ridiculous stuff.
That is man. That's
That's crazy though.
Shit right there.
That's local.
I wouldn't touch that.
Oh,
with,
me?
I wouldn't touch that with someone's 10-foot pole.
Now, what about a sex robot? Like, to the point where...
Or like Ex Machina?
Yeah, like to the point where, like, remember Jude Law's character in AI?
Yeah.
He was like a sex robot.
You mean her? No.
Jude Law.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He looked human.
He's supposed to be a suave.
Same thing. Ex Machina and well, not her.
Her was
fucking
just a
computer.
PC.
But you need to think there would be like unhealthy shit that comes up with that though too. Like people, like motherfuckers would fall in love with a robot instead of
Like a technovirus and shit.
No.
or just cut themselves off from humans just because they're getting what they need from a robot anyway.
I mean, you mean sexually?
Yeah.
Sexually.
Sometimes even. Yeah.
Some people do it now with just.
That's true. There's
With
motherfuckers.
VR porn and shit.
But there's people who marry sex dolls
Yeah.
and animals and shit like that.
I mean, you know what? Okay, so with that question, it always brings me back to Wall-E.
Oh, Wall-E. You have to
Wall-E.
specify.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Because
What the fuck is Wall-E?
the Disney movie where about the robot. So
We become so dependent on machines that we don't live our lives. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
it brings me back to that. 'Cause I'm like,
So everybody turns into these big fat motherfuckers who wear red tunics and
Can't do it.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
Depending on robots.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It's
Because
the
the
premise
thing
of.
But that's
totally different
that's talking about letting machines take over your entire everything.
But this is like
like
falling in love with one and then replacing
this is
each
like
with
replacing
Some of them
replacing your
human interactions.
Yeah, replacing your human bonds because you're getting what you need out of this thing who's not actually alive.
Right. There are just some things you can't substitute.
Yeah.
No, you just can't.
No,
You can try, but then you realize I'm dumb. I shouldn't be doing this. I need to actually talk to people.
Yeah.
I still don't get the whole sex doll thing. I mean, I've used the fleshlight, and if that's what it feels like, then all right. I'd still much rather fuck a girl.
Oh yeah,
Hardcore. Yeah, for sure.
Set me up.
because it's like it's the give and take that makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, there's interaction that goes on there and everything.
Yeah. Sit down with them to take. Yeah, I'm a fucking duck. Sorry. Watch Big Mouth. You'll get the joke. Watch Big Mouth.
Well, actually, it's more like take that.
Take that.
If you're feeling a little diddyish, take that.
Oh,
wait, you gotta take this too.
What are you
Take
doing?
this.
What are you doing? Oh, turn them over. What? This is
The remix.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I would not do a sex robot.
Robot doll.
Robot, no,
that's a negatory for me, man.
Over
Sorry.
for you, bro.
Yeah, for
You
real.
go, rip that shit right off.
But the thing about it is, too,
Was
is
that
like,
128 days later when old boy was caught in the mountain and he cut his hand? Like it'd be like that. You'd be like, no one will find me. He would have it in. I'm like, yeah, he's gone.
But the other thing about it though, that if physically it comes to the point where it's not as different from being with a real girl, like just physically.
Mm-hmm.
That there'll be a lot of dudes who be like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I'm gonna.
That's because communication is like key, but people ain't talking about shit. Or some people
Also, there's women who are just
People are
fucking
cowards
pains in the ass.
oh my gosh.
people are cowards nowadays.
What?
People are cowards and
I thought you said people are cows. I don't know.
I thought you said callous.
No, cows.
Okay.
No,
So we have coward, callous
some
cows.
people can be cows.
Oh yeah,
They
that's true.
can be cows.
They
They
can
can
be.
be cows.
So what the hell are you talking about? People can be cowards.
Our cows, not people.
Yeah.
Are
Some,
cowards?
yes.
What are you talking about?
As far as like divulging their feelings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Communication.
Oh, yeah.
So, you have a mouthpiece, don't you?
When it's passion, I used to use this
Might
as
you
a
use
tactic. If there were, I'm gonna say it on my job. If there was a girl that I was attracted to, but there was another one, and I didn't want to choose or make a decision, I just tell one of them that I liked them, and they're like, "Oh, well, that's so sweet," and then it'd be weird, and then it wouldn't associate with me the way they used to. I'm like, "All right, good, perfect. You made my choice easy."
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as they say, "Oh, that's so sweet," I'm like, "Okay, you put me into that zone. Okay, I'm going here."
Shit, but one of these days I'm gonna escape that junk like Ron Possible.
Yeah.
Ultimate exiter of the friend zone. That's king shit right there.
Oh no, I'm trapped. Let me out. Let me out.
You got the main
No.
shit, not the side shit,
No,
but the
no.
main
You can only break this for an emergency. Well, this is an emergency.
smash.
Well, I've seen a meme too. It's like it was so true too. It's like it's showing one picture and then another picture, and this is like how men escape the friend zone, and there's a dude like having to climb over fucking barbed wire. And shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And then how women escape the friend zone, and it's just a bitch walking through the door.
It's not even fair.
No, it's not.
We have to do like 99% of stuff, and they could just do one thing, and that's it.
Yeah, sex for gay men too. So. Sex for gay people too. Shit.
Does it though?
I don't understand.
does.
I don't understand that. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
It does. It sucks.
You're all men.
Doesn't mean shit.
Stop messing with men who act like women. Then. That's
True
what
story.
That's what all that really is.
If you bring in mugs like that one dude over, never
Can we
again.
not? Can we not?
Can you not?
Can you not? Yeah, how about that?
You brought him around us, not the other way around. You brought him around us.
Are you finished?
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you
done? Really? Are you done?
All right, but
That was amazing. I was amazing.
Shut up.
If you didn't even know that the word faggot existed, you would make it up listening to this motherfucker talking.
Oh my god.
That shit was.
God, horrible.
All right, moving on.
Do we have any more topics, gentlemen? Anyone?
Anybody?
It's
Except before we get to our last two.
Okay.
Anyone else? No?
Oh, I had a question for everybody. How much would you pay for a cell phone? Would you pay for $1,000 or would you pay $600?
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, look at the phone you have in your hand.
all right.
Well, back in the day, I'm gonna break it down. Being a long time phone veteran, I used to work for several technology companies that had to do with phones. One of them starts with a V. One of them starts with an A. We'll just leave it with that. But the game has changed. It used to be, when phones were just flip phones and we were just texting and calling people, you could probably get a phone for maybe $100, $200.
You forgot the chirp.
Same amount of price, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, we want our stuff to do more. We have computers in our pockets, so of course
pretty much.
the price is going to change. I saw somebody had made a meme of it. It was a Radio Shack commercial. This dude had boombox, headphones, recorders, cameras, all that stuff. And then somebody wrote in the meme, nowadays all of this fits in your pocket.
Yep.
True.
And I'm like, yo, that's
All
facts.
on one device.
All on one device. Yeah. So if we have a mega computer in our pocket and people are like, yo, these prices are outrageous. To a degree, yeah. But it really comes down to where you're buying, what the materials are made of, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, people were complaining, this previous year, but the iPhone 10, it's $1,000. You're like, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for an iPhone. Wrong. Anybody who's bought an iPhone in the last 7 years has done that.
Has paid more than
Has paid more than that. The reason why is everything was done in tiers. If you got the first tier, it was only like $694, which is $700.
True.
And then as you add $100 to go to the next one, you're jumping that shark. You're going from 7 to 8, and then basically if you got 64, you paid that $1,000 with tax and fees and everything. Oh, I can't pay for $1,000. You did that.
Especially if you don't
You
have
did
a
it
plan.
already.
Technically.
Especially if you don't have a plan. You know?
And the players were and people were complaining like, oh, I don't want to have to pay my phone out and payments. I'm like, you did that. What do you think 2-year contracts were?
Yeah.
You were like, instead of like, oh, it's down payment money. No, it's give me your money, dummy. Because you're staying with us for 2 years. You're paying off device fees, all the charges that you're paying. You end up paying more for the phone than you did before you knew you paid for it in monthly installments.
Very true.
But now it's up front and people see it. They're like, oh, this is too much money. You've done that, bro. Maybe even twice over. Especially if you were buying phones for your family. You did mortgage payments, college tuition. That shit's real.
Well, when you add that.
Oh, yes. That's what they call the facts. Or as my brother calls it, that's real rap.
Well, that answers the question.
There you have it.
It's real rap.
Still comment down below and voice your opinion.
All right.
Now your phone is just make phone calls, get a Dixie cup and a string. What we get? Until then, if you don't want to FaceTime people or see people and video chat them and all that other stuff, then yeah, just get a flip phone.
But also,
they still exist.
But also too, they don't have to get a flip phone
Especially if
because
you're
nowadays
you might need that shit.
there's different outlets you can go to get a phone that is actually not $1,000 and that high
You
price.
can. You can go 300 and above. You can even
go
go
lower
lower than
than
that. You can. But it comes down to what you want your phone to do.
Prepay,
Yeah.
nigga.
But the problem
It is all about the it's all about
all the features.
all the features that come with it. I mean, look at this shit right here.
7.
Bro, do you understand? You understand that on this motherfucker, and even before this, on
He has the
these-
Galaxy
on these-
S7, by the way.
on these smart fucking phones right here, there's a function that you used to have to go out and buy an entirely different unit and put it in your car. GPS.
GPS
now
oh
comes
my
with your
God.
shit.
Exactly. And it updates regularly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the price being upped makes sense.
Oh yeah. With all the
Yeah,
features that it
man.
does.
So wait. So
You need
so
utility.
now so speaking about that, the iPhone 10 is $1,000.
Okay.
The Galaxy S9 is $720. The Galaxy S9 Plus is
But
$840.
720 for who? Who's giving
Most Sprint, T-Mobile, and I believe AT&T. Verizon's the only one that's charging more.
charging the full price?
Charging full price.
In which case,
Because when I went to go,
Verizon has always done that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
in which case,
it's always full price because they're gonna pay it. If you
But
want
every
service.
every other
yeah.
outlet is charging $720. So
You know
Yeah,
why
yeah.
they're charging $720? Because they themselves are taking a hit in some way, fashion, or form. And when you buy that phone, so will you. Unless, I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like when I heard, oh yeah, I got a Galaxy S5. I said, let me try and get this Galaxy S8 and get this money. They were like, all right, cool, that's $1,080. I'm like, is that the degrees you want me to turn around? So I can exit the premises? No, that's the price. All right, cool. I'll see you 9:15.
So you agree with Galaxy S9's price, and do you agree with iPhone 10's
I agree
price?
that as technology grows,
Right.
it's going to cost more money because there's going to be more stuff put into it. Think of it like a plate of food.
Right.
If you ask for 2 things, it's not that bad. If you ask for a 5, maybe 6 course meal, and you're like, yo, this costs a lot. Of course, you ask for more stuff. So because you ask for more stuff, you can't argue about the price. If you do, if you do, ask for less things.
But
Ask for lesser options.
I understand what you're saying, but what if okay? So the iPhone 10, what is it new besides the screen? They're doing something new. The camera may be probably new. But the same thing with the Galaxy S9, the camera's new, different functions and features. Do you agree with the price being for the Samsung 720 and the 10 being $1,000?
Keeping it real, just like I said, it's a computer in your pocket.
Yeah, honestly, bro,
It's a
not up to-
computer in your pocket.
And it's not up to you. It's not up to you to agree with the cost of what it is.
You
Because
gotta
you
get
got to
into
think
that.
about the people who are making it. That there's a cost to what they're using and how
Right.
and they got to make that money back somehow, some way.
agreed.
I mean,
Also, too, they don't even gotta get the
and that's the
10, they
thing.
get the other
Every time a new one comes out, you ever heard of a new thing that came out with less features? No, niggas always. it's always more and more and new shit.
You can get this
Never
tiny
tried to
donut, but it's chocolate eclair. Which would you like?
Vanilla cream.
Exactly.
So now on that note, now that our topics are all out the way.
When is the S9 coming out?
I was just getting to that shit.
16th.
It's okay. You get a chance to talk.
What?
We love you too.
16th.
I'm trying to get to you.
This month?
To me.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Inspector Gadget
I'm
over
good.
here.
Oh,
I'm glad I
Gotta get to you.
I'm glad I saved my upgrade then.
that's
I already pre-ordered it.
your pre-order.
We just talked about pre-orders. But anyway.
But he's like, but
Not
games,
video
though.
games.
See?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was
Game.
gonna go and make this
Just
rebuttal.
stop your babbling. Anyway.
Oh, companies are not all the same.
Pish posh. Anyway.
Boulder Dash.
Anyway.
Pulled it down.
Let's get to our topic of gadgets coming from Sir Wednesday over here.
I am Sir Wednesday.
Come on, man.
Please tell us the newest thing that you think is going to be good for us.
All right,
Sex toys.
Shut your mouth, mouth person. Right now,
I want to have a jingle for each segment. I remember there used to be a thing. There used to be a radio show, and it was just like, let's ask for Anthony's opinion, and then they would play a jingle. It's like forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
let me know when you're doing it. I will sing all that.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh god. I mean, it's like it's gonna rhyme.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie.
All right.
Latest gadget that spotted my eye is something
that's
that'll
nasty.
interest you. Something will interest you film nerds out there, such as myself. ICANN, that's fucking up. IKAN have released a new gimbal. It's called the Pivot. Pivot is starting around
Let him do his segment.
$749. If you hear an owl, that's me striking this man. Just released. It can hold up to 8 pounds, which is dope as far as like heavier cameras. It does come with a follow focus attachment. So now you can do follow focus.
You're a follow focus science.
I started this well. And that's great for, you don't have to constantly have a person to do follow focus manually. You can maintain all the visuals on your own. Great battery life. Battery life is tremendous on this. The weight is pretty okay. But of course, as you're adding more cameras, especially if they're 8 pounds, you are going to be holding them, so get them push-ups in.
You said battery life. What are we looking at?
Battery life? If you want to be honest, the battery life for this guy would be about... Wow, pop my head, I'm blowing my mind.
And you said it's the ICANN what?
ICANN Pivot.
ICANN Pivot.
ICANN Pivot. That means you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a battery powered gimbal.
Battery powered gimbal, all motorized, so that way you can get the smoothest shots.
That's
like
crazy.
butter. That shit's so good.
Like butter or like candy.
Stupid. Oh yeah, like that. It has Manfrotto plates you can use, so that way you can transfer from the gimbal into a tripod situation if you need to.
Nice.
So that way, it makes things very versatile. They also have attachments for cages. You can, so that way, keep your device moving the way you want to move it. But yeah, take a look at it. It's on Icann's webpage. It's called the Pivot. It's just released. Price point is going to be about $749. Some people say that might be a little bit too high, but for all the stuff it gives you, I say check it out.
$749.
$749.
Cool beans.
Gotcha.
Very
Nice and nice.
Very solid.
Galaxy S9 will be releasing on March 16th. If anybody was looking to
Didn't you just
purchase
say
that,
that
no,
already?
I didn't.
Said it last.
Said it last.
It's all good though.
Said it last week.
That's-
Let's say it until it comes around.
I got it in my hand. The Galaxy S9 is mine.
All
I
right.
have a gimbal.
See? You're a gimbal. I won this war.
Now moving on
No, you haven't.
to this. Now
Understood.
moving on to the last segment of the night with Redbeard's moral questions of the night. Moral choice.
Here's a
Yeah.
Choices. Bitch.
okay.
All right.
So okay, you have this in this scenario. You're the father of an 8-year-old daughter.
Christ. Oh no.
8-year-old girl who's always been happy and go lucky her entire life, until something terrible happens.
Why not?
She gets raped.
Done.
Your 8-year-old gets raped. She's so traumatized by it that she stops speaking, but in other ways, she's able to tell you that the one who did it was a neighbor in your neighborhood. But unfortunately, there's not enough evidence to convict them. You move on with your life, whatever, blah, blah. You move on with your life. One night, you're with your wife at a restaurant, and you see, oh boy, motherfucker who raped your daughter. He's eating alone, looks unhappy. You finish your meal and leave because you don't want to bash his face in at the table.
I so do.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Next day, you find out your former neighbor's wife has been murdered. Enough evidence to convict him of the murder is soon found, and at first you're happy because you know, oh shit, this motherfucker's finally gonna go down for something.
Mm-hmm.
But then you hear that at the time that the wife was being murdered, you saw that motherfucker in the restaurant, so it couldn't have been him murdering the wife.
It was my daughter.
You think maybe, okay, well maybe he hired someone to kill my wife or whatever. All right, so anyway, if you keep quiet, he'll be convicted of murder. But if you say something, he might get off for the simple fact that you saw him at the restaurant at the time that the wife was being murdered and shit.
It's my wife or his wife?
His wife.
His wife.
His wife
The
got
one
murdered.
being murdered?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's his wife.
his wife. So what do you do? Let that nigga go down, right?
Die, kill, die, kill.
I mean, I don't know that anyone here would have honestly have let
I know
it
who
go
killed his
past the
wife,
point.
No.
I know who killed his wife though.
Keeping it
I
real.
know who killed his
I would
wife.
busted his head.
My daughter killed his wife.
Keeping it real, I would bust his head open before the breast hit.
Think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's think about it.
It's like, sorry about extra
My
bread? I'm
daughter-
like, yes, and I'm gonna leave the garbage back.
Let's think about it. My daughter's traumatized to the point where she's
She's also 8 years old, motherfucker. She's not hit, girl.
But she could be.
she could be.
She could. With
A knife is a
motivation.
knife. I don't care.
But then,
Started training that bitch right after.
A knife is a knife.
true. But at the same time,
That's
it's
just
like,
when
if she
people
get
say
caught,
knives
you ain't
is
trying
kind
to
of-
have your daughter go to jail.
And an 8-year-old girl's arm is an 8-year-old girl's arm. She's not that fucking.
And she ain't that strong.
Right.
He can probably overpower her real
She
quick
could have been
if that's the
asleep.
case.
Not him. The grown woman can overpower it.
Yeah, that too. Knock her ass with a chair, then stab her ass.
You remember that fucking conversation we had about how many 9-year-olds do you think you can defeat in a ring?
That was the first episode, guys.
I said, as long if it was Royal Rumble style, I can go all fucking night. If they were coming in one by one, fuck that.
If they coming in a group,
Exactly.
They come in one a minute, one every minute.
Like Royal Rumble style, yeah.
Boom.
throw it.
That's the first 5 seconds, and then you sit down and smoke a cigar for the next 55 seconds. And here's the other thing that we didn't even get to: the intimidation factor.
He's a grown person.
Bro, you knock one little motherfucker in his face, and he's bleeding all over the face. And all you need to do, and it's a whole group of them, all you need to do is be like, all right, who's next? You, fatty? Who is it? Which one is going to come at me next?
How about you, Thickness?
Who wants some?
I remember somebody saying, oh, well, but you ever get hit in the shin, the motherfuckers hit you in the... Nigga, the motherfucker who hits me in the shin is going to get it 2 times.
2 piece, no biscuit.
Grab that nigga. Matter of fact, I'll grab that nigga by his legs and use him as a weapon against all the others.
That's what I said I would do.
A human bat.
All right, so back to this moral choice.
And that's the thing. This is the whole hypothetical thing. I say we none of us would let them get to the point of getting to the restaurant, but it's a hypothetical situation. Now, your choice is: would you let him go down, or would you say, I mean, shit, I saw him at the restaurant. He couldn't have murdered his wife.
He's dead.
You would let him go down?
Yes.
You would let him get convicted?
Yes. Or I'm doing it myself.
So Wednesday?
The thing about it is...
Kill him.
Shut your face. Kill him. The thing about it is...
He deserves
Shut up, because Jesus, let him think.
Was the neighbor my friend at any point in time?
I don't know. It just says neighbor.
It just says neighbor? Okay.
So
The reason why is
die.
because, and I know this is adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
But if she was like a friend of mine and she had died, I'd want to know who it really is, even though my daughter's still died by this asshole. But because I'm a crazy asshole, I would just dig a hole on his lawn and put his newspaper there and make it like a trapdoor situation.
Yes, he deserved to die, and I hope he burned in
and
hell.
then when the nigga goes to get the paper in the morning, he falls in the hole, and I'll just fill it out. Like, it's a verdict. He's like, where's John? Oh, we can't find John. John's gone. Then we find his wife's killer. Like, hey, who's the garbage man? Cool. We're good. Gucci.
I would actually go into.
a punji steak fucking trap.
I would actually go into the kitchen. Like, if I know I don't know he's there, right? So I didn't follow him to the restaurant, right?
Nigga, you went to the restaurant. He was there already.
Okay.
He was eating.
So I would
he was eating garlic.
Oh, okay. So I would find some rat poison and put in his food.
What the?
How? When he was already sitting there eating?
Oh, he was eating? Oh,
you are the worst assassin ever.
Black season.
Put in his food.
I can just imagine Victor with a box like, no minus. Like, no, my food is just ruined. What are you throwing in here?
No. Continue eating. This is just seasoning, extra seasoning.
Black season,
It has
please.
a rat on it.
Tell us yours.
Well, I mean, other than the fact that you would think, the elaborate, calm thing to do would just be to, wait until this, motherfucker goes to the bathroom and, excuse yourself.
Hitman his ass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, just to be a little vindictive, sure.
Beat him up, put him in the damn bathroom, want some commando shit.
Yes.
Don't wake my friend. He had the clogs.
Yeah.
That commando shit. With
Oh
just
my god.
Don't wake my friend. He's
dead
tired.
Put a hat on. Put a hat on in a restaurant. I don't know.
I'd basically wait until he got home.
Look at the police at that.
After me and my wife finished eating and all that stuff.
Well, his wife's dead.
No.
Oh, your wife.
My
Gotcha.
wife
That's true.
finished eating, and we both go home, and then I see him.
Well, he would get a rude awakening if he went home.
I see him go into his house. I'd be like, I'll be right back. I need to put gas in the car. I forgot to do that. I go across the street, go in his house.
Wait, neighbor, right? So
He's a neighbor. Whether he's next door or across the street doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Keep going.
Go across the street. Go in his house.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get some type of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, when somebody finds him out of nowhere, it looked like he killed himself. That way, whether he did it or not, he still get his.
You just fucking.
You can make it look like he and write a note saying that he killed his wife.
Fucking, you just gave me a great idea. I was like, I'm Barry Allen his ass. I'm gonna set that nigga out.
Exactly.
He's in the restaurant already.
Set his ass
He's
up.
in the restaurant
Absolutely.
already. I'll go say, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I dropped your knife. No problem. My bad, guy. Wrap that shit up. Put that shit in the house. Like, his fingerprints all over the knife.
Yep.
But alright, but you guys are going past it though. So the thing, you're at the restaurant already, and then you find out the next day while you guys were at the restaurant, his wife was killed.
Ah.
Right. So
He could have just killed his wife and then just came to the restaurant after.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they said. Well, I mean, they can determine the time of death.
Of course
and shit,
they-
so.
They probably
Okay,
stabbed. They probably
I mean,
stabbed.
I say I wouldn't let him go down just because I'd want to do it myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I
would
meant.
wanna do it
That's
myself, too.
that's
exactly
what I
right.
meant.
Yeah.
Cut his brakes.
I want to kill him
Oh
just
yeah.
because the thing. No,
you can get the
thing
missus to cut the brakes. You could just talk to this dude. The missus coming like, I'll be right back.
Because seriously,
Yeah,
Call it a
you-
day.
your wife in on this shit too.
yeah. The thing is, why would you want him to go easy by going to prison when you still he still needs to pay for what he did?
Correct.
Though I don't know if it's.
We're evil.
I don't know if it,
Just
I
a
don't know
little.
if saying that him going to prison would be easy though.
No.
Maybe
Nah.
I don't think he'd be.
But he's still alive.
I don't think he'd be.
No.
I don't think he'd be as badly treated if he was a wife killer But if you can have someone spread the word that he's a kid toucher, that his life is hell.
Exactly. Oh please, his life is forfeit.
Yeah, you know what you did?
No.
You just set up the perfect scenario. Let him go down for everything, and then go visit that nigga in prison and be like, "Yo, you doing all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, gotta fight a couple of days. I'm doing good." He's like, "All right, cool. I got one more gift for you." He's like, "Oh, word, my commissary's full. Thanks, man. No problem. Got one more gift. This nigga raped my 8-year-old daughter, and now he's in jail. Do with him what you must."
Yo, guards don't even
visit.
Guards don't even fucking find
The last
Are you
visit
kidding
that
me?
this
They
nigga
give
had.
0 fucks.
Yeah.
Please. You think they won't turn
The
together? They
CEOs
won't
will turn around like, "I gotta go check my phone
No,
for an hour."
and then look at him after you said that. Welcome to Oz, nigga. Click.
Stop that nigga into a casserole.
The person name's name is Adebisi.
But yeah, all you have to do is be loud as fuck. You're like, "All right, cool," and then watch his face like, "All right, cool." That's exactly the look I was looking for. Peace out.
I mean, word will get around either way. That motherfucker is dead meat.
Yes.
He's just meat.
Just me.
So what would you do?
Me? Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think that would be
we did. Yeah, did that.
I think that would be the great, and depending on what kind of visitation thing it is.
Yeah.
But just start a scene. "You raped my daughter, nigga. She was 8 years old. You raped my daughter." Say his full name.
Yep. It's over. He's like, "Have a good day." He just walk out. He's just sweating bullets. My niggas is just staring at him.
You think I forgot? But on that note,
I knew it was your friend.
even though that was a pretty twisted one for a second, but you know, as guys, if us being the parents, if that were to happen, that just wouldn't fly.
No.
It comes down to my mindset. I probably would have just snapped the nigga.
I would have snapped before, as you already said. You all would have snapped before the whole that
Man,
scene.
the only thing that's gonna fly is that motherfucker's eyeball.
But
Or
on
blood.
that note, with my Jordy glasses.
And there
Alright, Black Cyclops.
There's actually been a news story where there was a guy who raped a young boy, and then the motherfucker, the father, killed that nigga, and then he was let off.
The father?
Yeah. Wow. They let him off. They was just like, yeah. Motherfucking judge was like, he did what? Oh, he raped your son. All right, go ahead.
There was you remember that doctor that kind of molested these girls?
Oh, the fucking
The
gymnast.
dad was like, "Let me." It's like,
Can I get
five minutes with him? Or you know what?
In the
2 minutes, like
She's like,
2
"Can I get
minutes.
1 minute?" She's like,
Like 1 minute.
I can't do that.
He was like, "You can't do that." He rushed him.
Oh yeah, and all those cops held down on him.
Rushed him.
Oh, yo. See, you could
That
probably
was in
see.
Florida, right?
Nah.
You could probably, and this was years ago. You could probably still find the fucking video online. There was a dude who raped this kid. He was like a karate instructor or something.
Wow.
He raped the kid. He like he was a kid toucher and shit. And then they found out and everything. And this was back when airports didn't have all the security that they have, and fucking cops
Before
were
9/11, basically.
fucking cops were walking this motherfucker to wherever they were. I think they were in the airport, but they were walking him out, and they were walking him towards like where I think they were gonna transport him to jail. There's a motherfucker. If you watch the video, there's a dude at the telephones and shit. He turns around. And as soon as the nigga gets in it, he turns around, boom, shoots him right in the fucking head.
Yo!
That was the father of the kid.
Oh,
And you remember seeing the fucking, and you could hear on the tape, like I think one of the cops recognizes the guy, and he was just like, "Oh, nigga, why?" He's like, "What do you mean why?" But shit, and it was fucked up because the nigga was real close to another cop. And he could have potentially shot the cop too.
True.
that would have been 10 years.
Luckily, he shot that one, and he caught him right in the fucking head.
It's over for that. He said, "Block this here, bitch." Bah, done. Flawless victory.
God.
Block
Yo,
this-
that dad though, I don't like. He said when he told the judge, he was like, let me get 5 minutes with him.
Yo,
like,
the one dude kicked him. He just jumped up and
He
kicked
kicked
him. And then the cops grabbed him because he was like right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
He was that.
He got him. No, he got him. He grabbed him. He grabbed him, and he was like,
dude was like,
and I don't know. This cop was like, I don't know. I think he was the Flash because the dad grabbed him and was like, the cop was like, I was like, dude, how do you catch this dude?
Damn. Reflexes.
And they pinned him down. I was like, sir. The judge didn't give him
daughter
any.
was like, Dad.
The judge didn't give him any. The judge didn't give him any sentence or anything like that, or any fine like that. But in you finding out your daughter was, molested by a doctor.
But and that's the shit that's terrible.
By a doctor. You're supposed to take your
harm.
You took this person and trusted this with your daughter, and
you're supposed to trust those.
Yeah, but it's no one. It's like she wasn't the only person. It was it was a big case.
It was a huge case.
Yeah, like because
he was doing the Olympic shit for a long time.
Yeah, like I was like. Yo.
There's women who don't trust dentists either, because remember that dentist who got caught for he would put them bitches under and just start doing mad shit.
Bill Cosby, right? I'm gonna put my jaw. Put it.
I'm still amazed that shit actually happened, bro.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
you got one of two cavities.
If it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be.
Like, I know there's creepy tendencies in every dude. I understand, but I don't understand how you can be that big and famous and still fall back on like doing that type of shit. Just get bitches regular.
Yeah,
was he that famous at that point?
Yes, he was.
It's
Bill Cosby. First of all, and you know what's weird too?
Yeah, he really felt
like even talking about that, like the dude from Glee, Mark Saley, he committed suicide from because he got charged with child porn. He never touched the child, but it was just part.
But all the dudes now
from Subway, that nigga's in jail.
All the dudes now in Hollywood getting Me Too'd. To me it doesn't make sense. It's like, why are you motherfuckers being creepy? Like, you guys already have some kind of... You guys have money. You guys have celebrity.
It's a power thing.
You can get... I can understand... Okay, Harvey Weinstein I can understand.
Yeah, that's power. That is awful.
No, but also, that nigga looks...
Ugly.
Yeah, that nigga looks like a Battletoad.
But we can talk... Okay, if we're talking about that, Louis C.K. is like... okay, since I find Louis C.K. fucking hot. He's cute, but my thing is like,
in front of you, though.
Yeah, but
that's creepy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the creepiness. I don't know. That's the maybe just because I don't have it and I don't understand it. So I don't. Understand what you get out of.
I don't understand
what you can get out of making a bitch sit down and you jerk off.
And she's supposed to be one of your proteges.
It's
like
something like, I don't know.
Yeah, but sit down.
It's a power thing. It's like, can I get away with doing this?
Why would I just want to sit there? But he asked, though. He asked, can I sit down? Can I just jerk off?
How far can it go?
But when you go, and Louis C.K. is a subject where it's interesting because you listen to his.
That makes it better.
You listen to his stand up and you kind of can determine what kind of guy he is. He's very logical and very, very fucking forward thinking. How is this what brings you down? How is this?
I don't get it. Right. I'm kind of.
You would think you'd be smart enough not to.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
It's like being a dude on the tallest tower and be like, yo, I can spit on these niggas.
No.
There'd be no
but
problem.
again, it was at a time in Hollywood where I guess any creepy shit you do with a bitch, it doesn't.
It was
come
on wraps,
out.
exactly.
But the thing, at a time, I think it's been happening since the beginning of Hollywood.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why so many motherfuckers are getting exposed is because I guess one day when fame knocks on your door and says, hey, you're famous now. Here's your pamphlet. Here's your membership card.
Now give me a blowjob, right?
And he probably goes, also, by the way, you can do creepy shit to bitches and they won't say nothing. That's
one of the perks.
That is one of the perks of being in the club and shit.
You know, but you know what's
funny?
That
shit probably expired like a Blockbuster's membership.
But you know what's
that's the cashback today. Yeah, it's too late, nigga. It's over.
But it's so bad because it's like it's been going on in Hollywood for like way before we were even a thought.
Well, of course.
And which is so bad now. It's I hate to say it, it's catching up now.
Nigga, it's like Carlito's way. You thought everything was coochie, and then came up and pop. Me too, nigga.
Hey, remember, man? It's like this big, huge, like sexual harassment witch hunt and shit.
And
You know they came around like Billy Bond.
But at the same time, girls are getting out of hand with this shit. Then you can't come to a certain understanding with motherfuckers by trying to rule them through fear. Motherfuckers are gonna come
Bill
back.
Maher said that same thing.
And what you got? Chappelle said it too.
Yeah, Chappelle. Like my only issue is when it comes to the whole Me Too movement. I'm all for it when it actually is a true fucking story.
But sometimes it's not.
And that's the part. And that's the part that
It
fucks
better
me up.
be. It better be. The only reason why, because if it's not, it's not, the Me Too chicks will destroy that person.
Oh yeah.
You thought Me Too, you thought you were
without
done.
a doubt.
Yeah.
It's over for you.
Like my thing is like,
But
are you? Hold on, man. My thing is with the whole Me Too movement is, I'm happy that this is happening for creepy motherfuckers. I'm happy.
Scumbag should be brought to the forefront.
Yes, good. But my thing is like a lot of these women not are just saying it just to say it and not really having an issue just because one, they want to be like, some women want fame out of it and want to like have some type of celebrity status with it too, because you're not for nothing. If you're part of Me Too, right, and you Me Too against this celebrity or whatever the case may be, your fame is going up. Oh, you're you know,
for 15 minutes, man.
15 minutes, right?
Because remember when the scandal with Tiger Woods came out.
Which one?
What you mean which one? The Tiger Woods scandal when he fucking what
Cheated on his wife, yeah?
He cheated on his wife. What do you mean there's more than one?
Yeah, you know where apparently he got more than a hole in one.
Yeah, he's had more than one. He's cheated on his wife, and there's another one. But keep going.
What's the other scandal?
Him and getting into a fight with his wife and shit like that.
That's all connected.
What,
It's all
yeah,
connected.
dude, it's the same
No, it
thing.
was after. But anyway, keep going.
It's all connected. It's the scandal with him being the guy who fucked all these bitches on the side.
It was true,
right? Yeah. And it was true, sure. But when the only reason it got as big as it did and all those women came forward, why? Is because that first bitch who came out and said anything got a shit ton of money for it, and then fame, and all these other bitches like, oh wait a minute,
I could do that too.
hey, he fucked me too. That was the first Me Too movement. Bitches like, me too. I want all that money. I want all that fame.
Me too.
You know what's the one thing about all those women that Tiger Woods had sex with? They were all blondes.
Honestly,
Exactly.
That Perkins
Yes.
bitch.
Yeah.
That ugly ass Perkins bitch.
You so stupid.
He was a
I ain't
brunette.
got no time.
But there should be heavy penalties if a woman comes out and says this nigga did something and he really didn't. Like, remember there was an old black janitor who went to jail for years, and finally when the bitch came out and said, he went to jail for like 20 something years.
Wow, yeah.
And he served all that time. And when the bitch finally came out and said, "Oh no, he didn't rape me," nothing happened. He got let out of jail, but nothing happened to that bitch. Like, something should have happened to her. Like, that you took away 20 years of a man's life.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just,
And you can't get that back.
No, you can't get that back.
Time is that
should,
one.
You're right. There should be some type of penalty.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I think the dude just let it rock. If I was the janitor, there was a press conference and he was like, "Well, I'm just happy that I'm just happy that everything that the truth is out now, and I just go back and live my." If that was me, I would be like, I am suing
the
everybody.
Oh yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Anybody that had to do with me going down is going down.
The police station, the city, the city, the what is it?
Just the city in general. The
city.
city.
The whole,
everyone.
The whole city.
I'm saying,
because if you sue the city, you're basically suing anything that's dealing with the city.
It's just you can't just go based off
Suing
of
the state.
I understand that it happens to a lot to women, but there should be more. there should be more investigation. There should be more. You can't. There's too many motherfuckers who just like. Bitch was like, he raped me, and it was just like, well, you're going to jail. What? Wait a minute. I don't even get to. Nope, you're going to jail now.
I do agree. There should be some more investigation instead of just like
consequences.
Like, yeah, really, because I'm not saying all women don't get it. I don't get this, forced upon and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they don't. And the ones that do, yes, say something about it. Say something about it right then and there. But after, but if you're just saying just to be famous and get money, there should be some penalty for that shit.
It's like the boy who cried wolf.
That's the thing. Is like, yeah,
or the girl who cried rape.
Women don't want woman hate to be so prevalent and all that shit. Well, y'all bitches do that shit by doing this shit, because you guys do have. They talk about how many rights they don't have, but they also have a lot of shit that they do get away with, and just because they are women, divorce in New York is holy shit.
Well, we don't live in New York, so we don't care.
I'm saying, like, divorce in New York, if you're divorcing a woman in New York, say goodbye to half your shit, because the courts in New York are just like, whatever the woman wants, go ahead and give it to her.
I think it's the same way in Jersey, too.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
But child support is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's like, you lost. Why did I lose? I got the house, I got the job, I got everything. You got a dick? You lost. It's like going to the club. He's like, why am I paying this fee? They just walked in. Oh, you're paying the penis entry fee. If you have a penis, you have to pay to get it.
Well, we are running a bit over time.
Yeah, we are.
Overtime!
No.
And we will be cutting this, well, I can't say short, but...
Extra innings.
Just a little side note. Tomb Raider comes out next Friday. Jessica Jones season 2 just came out today.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it did.
Binge watching it tonight.
Yes, that's on Netflix, people. And
know what I'm doing.
Voltron, season 5.
Can I finish?
You got anything else before you interrupt me again?
Hey, it's on Netflix, right?
Son of a
Shut up.
bitch.
Keep going.
I was speaking.
Too bad.
I give you time to speak. Shut the fuck up.
Go.
Let him finish his shit. Comb your beard.
I did.
And no, you didn't. It looks
Look
like
at him.
fucking shit.
You look like Oscar the Grouch.
And
Oscar, you're such a grouch.
And-
Bitch, I live in a fucking trash can. You should have rumbled my childhood. He's like, you see this? He's like, you're right. That's why he's mad.
and for people who are into horror movies and stuff like that, there's a monster convention going on in Cherry Hill this weekend from March 9th to the 11th. It's in Cherry Hill. Don't know exactly where, but I'm sure you can look for it on their website. That's Monster Con. Okay?
Ooh,
Now,
scary.
yes.
Very scary.
I will bid you adieu, people. Thank you for listening to us babble about a bunch of stuff. Funny and non-funny things. Please catch us here next week on Saturday.
Huh?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes. We will give those times and everything on our Facebooks. And soon our official, I'm forgetting shit. Official Instagram page too.
This motherfucker's tired.
I am. I gotta work. What is that? Oh shit!
Right.
Oh my god!
What?
Redbeard, please do me a favor and just put that meme up
I
at
got
the point where we're laughing.
I gotta find that shit. I'm gonna put that shit up.
Just send it. Yeah, just send it to us. Holy fuck, that's funny.
I'm gonna put it up on the screen what we're laughing at right now. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I remember a med tape for this individual when this movie came out.
Holy shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join us next week
though, too.
on Saturday.
No, he punched her.
But until then, like, comment, subscribe, and
Good night.
yes. We are all saying goodnight. I'm Echo Ninja. This is
Black Caesar.
and
Redbeard.
and
Sir Wednesday.
and
Tired.
some
roundhouse.
motherfucker in a blue ass
Tired roundhouse. Good night.
and good riddance.
They call them
Well, not
McDonald's.
really.
headline.
No. Come back and listen, but don't.
House of M.
House of M.
Mickey Mouse.
Shut up.